And welcome the world and welcome everybody watching here at Whistler. It is Crankworx, day number 3 of Crankworx Whistler, and you couldn't ask for a better day. The sun is shining and we are set for some racing action coming your way. The best of the best are here to compete and it's all coming your way. It starts just about right now.
Hi, I'm Mitch. You're watching the SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized live from Crankworx Whistler. Boom! Nailed that one! Nailed that one!
It is hard to believe it's been 11 years of Crankworx here in Whistler, and it keeps getting better and better with every year. $25,000 on the line for this big one today. But before we get started, let's check in with Jackie Montgomery. Jackie?
Thanks, Brad. Well, we are in Whistler for stop number 6 out of 7 on the EWS Tour. Many of the athletes have said this course here is one of the toughest on the entire tour. Not only are they having to deal with the mental and physical demands of this track, but they're also having to deal with the Whistler heat, and it is a hot one today. For more on the course, let's send it up to Cy Payton.
Here we are at the end of stage 5 after 5 absolutely epic stages. You know, the riders left 6-7 hours ago. They've been absolutely beaten up, traveling up the top of this course, descending down. Stage 5 is the killer one. It's so long, it's 25 minutes. They're going to be so beaten up. They're going to come down this GLC drop straight through the finish line, cross that line. They're going to be thankful that they're through in one piece. Back to you, Brad J.
Well, I'll tell you what, yeah, Cy, it is a very tough course. And the difference this year from last year, 2 uphill sections. This year, count them 4. That's going to make it that much tougher. And $25,000 on the line for your Enduro World Series. That's the richest person in Enduro World Series ever right there with 25 grand. Hey, if you're doing the social media thing, make sure you do everything right. Hashtag it at Crankworx, is that right? Hashtag Crankworx. If you're following on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, it is at Crankworx, and get things going there. Let's check in with a course report from Tristan Merrick. Tristan?
Thanks, guys. That is right. I am up here right now on one of the many climbing trails. It's the transition, depending on how you look at it. Just getting up to stage number 1 or getting up to stage number 2 of Crazy Train, which is right behind us. So as you can see here, it's clearly marked, but we've got fresh cut trail. So a big thing, I think, that caught everybody off by surprise of what they announced trail-wise is how are we going to get around? How are the riders going to get between the stages? But as you can see behind me here, we've got clearly a fresh cut trail, which makes things a little bit harder. It's not as easy. You're not climbing up an access road or a paved road. So the riders are still really having to work for it and earn their vert to get to the start of stage number 1, which is right behind us here as it climbs up to microclimate. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, thank you so much. Tristan Merrick down there in the mix. Your SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized. And getting things started here a little bit, we got the amateurs right now outside that are on course. And a course as tough as this one, I mean, it's tough enough for the pros, but it's got to be pretty tough for the amateurs as well.
Yeah, you know, the pros, they've been out there training for an awful long time, and now we've got the amateurs that are on course. You know, these are guys that are working Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, you know, doing the training as much as they can, after work, before work, at weekends, upsetting the wife. You know what that's like, Brad.
I seem to do that very often. But, you know, we talk a little bit about the course, the changes in the course this year. And you think about it, okay, 2 big uphill sections in the years last year, and now 4 big uphill sections now this year. But then you get the temperatures coming into it too as well. The heat is tremendous out there. That's going to be even harder for people that were expecting possibly the same race as last year, right?
Yeah, you know what, we're down here in the bottom of the village, you know, and what a village it is. It's absolutely spectacular right there. And the temperatures down here, you know, over 30 degrees. The riders have been up, obviously it does get a little bit cooler as you go up the mountain, but you know, these guys are pedaling up the mountain. They're not getting on the chairlift. You know, some of those transitions times are an hour and 10 minutes long. So, you know, they're in the saddle. They've took the full face helmets off. They got the open face on. So for a little bit of extra airflow, but wow, it's going to be hot up there. Those guys are going to be cooking.
Well, we're going to also be bringing you, since we are live, we're going to be bringing you across the amateurs as they come across the finish line here in this one big heck of a race, the SRAM Canadian Open Enduro, presented by Specialized. And we're taking a look at some of the AMs right here. Hey, what do I got to change this to get that feed? Am I off on something here? Yeah, we got to have that because I can't call times.
So stepping down here now, this is the new GLC drop. That's been redeveloped for this year. We had quite a few crashes on that. We always see the crashes on the GLC drop. That's the place to watch at the end of the race. You know, these guys have just descended for around about 25 minutes down the hill. And that's the last thing you want to do, is crashing in front of this big crowd here at Crankworx Whistler, here on day 2 of the biggest and best mountain bike festival in the world.
Well, Cy, actually, don't cut us short on a day, man. We had the Fat Tire Crit that we did on Friday, so we're officially into 3 now. 2 for you, man, but 3 for us.
There you go. There's Brett Tippy's got a joke like that. There's 3 kinds of people in this world.
What is that? Tell me.
One of those that can count, and the other one is those that can't count.
Cy, thank you so much for that. All right, taking a look at some of our amateurs right now on course. Well, the pros will be coming up for you. We'll have the open class for the women and then the open class for the men. You can join us for the awards for all of them if you're live here in Whistler. We'll be doing that later on. I think we got Dan Webster right here. That's plate 503. Dan, of course, in the Master Men 30 to 39 category, Cy.
30 to 39. Remember those times, Brad?
Oh, yeah. That was only 11 years ago, man.
So Dan Webster there, the Canadian, coming in 42nd place, riding that Santa Cruz.
We'll be bringing more of the AMs across the line for you in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to day 3 here at Crankworx Whistler.
Miss me. I miss all of y'all.
Hey! 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 I can see it the way you like. I can do it the way you want. I'm on the cycle. You got a license. You got the right to.
The goal when we started to make the new demo was just to make the fastest downhill bike that we've ever come up with. So we wanted to lower the center of gravity, make it lighter, pedal better. Everything we could think of, we threw at this new bike.
It doesn't look like any other bike that's ever been made. It's got some unique things. Like, that is the trippiest bike I've ever seen. It's gonna definitely open a lot of people's eyes.
If the country is wild, get a 4x4. If the country is big, get a 9-speed transmission and 44 miles per gallon. If the country is rugged, get comfortable with full-grain Napa leather and technology to keep you on the right path. And if the country is Canada, get a Jeep Cherokee. Ajax 2014 Canadian Utility Vehicle of the Year.
The weekend's here and we're ready to roll. We kick it off and snag these new Bud Light Quickies. These slim cans get cold fast, then we head straight to the beach. When we're ready, they're nice and frosty. Watch the sunset by the fire, and we break out the tunes. As the night cools down, things really heat up. Next day, we head to Dave's cottage, pop some quickies in the cooler. They get icy in no time. The games begin, and TJ busts out a jig. Someone shimmies, someone shakes. We dance like nobody's watching, but everybody is. Summer's here, and these little quickies get cold fast. Perfect for Bud Light living.
And thanks for joining us here at home, World Wide Web, and thanks for everyone joining us here in Whistler for day number 3 of your action going on, your Enduro World Series, or part of your Enduro World Series. Of course, this is your SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized. Where we're at in the competition right now, if you are just joining us, we have the amateurs on course. I think it's Master Men category on course for you right now. And we'll be bringing the women across and the pro men across as they get closer towards the finish. But 5 stages, Si. This is one big race. Would you ever consider to race something like this, as an Enduro like this, 5 stages?
With my short legs, probably not, Brad J.
All right, well, Jackie Montgomery had a chance to hang out at the start of the race, and I'll tell you what went down. This is Jackie Montgomery earlier in the day.
Anka Martin, you're getting ready to drop it in here in just a minute. This is a long day ahead of you. What have you done kind of to prepare mentally and physically?
Oh, well, you know, we just have to make sure we eat, keep hydrated, enjoy, get through the day. And it's great to share it with a bunch of other girls for moral support, and we'll get each other through the day. So, you know, we just have to do it.
The heat today is going to be a huge factor. Anything you do have in mind to combat that?
Oh, make use of any river or stream and stick your head in that and just keep eating and hydrating, yeah.
All right, thank you and good luck out there. Annika Burton, now you have been doing so well this whole tour. What do you need to do out there to keep it up? This is a very long day ahead of you.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be a big challenge today. Stay hydrated, eat enough. I think we're going to be out there for the first part, like 6 hours. So yeah, definitely try to stay hydrated and eat a lot.
You've already been on this course training throughout the week. What stage has been the most difficult?
That's going to be definitely stage 4 because it's really technical. But then on the other hand, stage 5 is going to be a big challenge because it's so long. It's going to be like 30 minutes. So to do that at the end of the day after so many hours of riding, it's going to be a hard one.
All right, well, good luck. Stay hydrated and keep eating. Tracy Moseley, the current overall leader in the Enduro World Series. Tracy, this course is very difficult, arguably the toughest course, and the heat you're going to have to deal with today. How have you prepared for this?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough day. I think, you know, we're setting off a little later than I expected, so we're going to have some pretty hot few climbs, but it's just going to be a big day. Just make sure I'm going to eat well, drink well, and try and stay as cool as I can. But it's going to be, it's certainly going to be a big day for everyone. So just, yeah, stay on the bike and keep pushing hard.
Everyone riding in the same conditions, so good luck out there. We're here with defending champion and Caroline Chausson, the lady they call ACC. Now, like I said, you won last year, but this is a new course. How does this differ from last year's course?
Already last year it was a long day and hard day, but this year it will be still longer and harder. All the stages are really rough, a lot of roots, rocks, breaking bumps, things like that. It's really hard to relax in the stage. It's even impossible, and the liaisons are really long too. So it's gonna be a super long day. So I will try to go fast in stages and keep some energy during liaison.
All right, good luck this year.
And now we get back out to the course right now. Thanks to Jackie Montgomery catching up with a lot of the riders earlier in the day. And these guys are starting out early. Asai, you know, because weren't you out here in the booth at 8 o'clock calling the start of this thing? There's our start list right there for you.
Yeah, that's right, Brad. I was up there, you know, I'm not going to say the crack of dawn, but I was there at 7:30.
That's the crack of dawn for you, man, isn't it?
You don't know those. You only know one 7:30.
And there's a look at our start list, of course, for the ladies, the open women category here, all the way down to Tracy Moseley in that 32nd spot.
Yeah, Tracy Moseley will be the last rider down. She's seated last on the list there because she's the fastest rider in the series so far. She's leading on the points there. And Caroline Chausson, 2008 BMX world champion over there in Beijing.
Yeah, and you know, you got to like what Tracy's done so far. She's had 3 wins out of the 5 stops and a couple of second-place finishes. Well, let's go back and rewind the clock on the Enduro World Series when things started out in Chile. That was stop number 1. Let's take a look at how it all played out in Chile, Enduro World Series stop number 1. The season kicked off for the first stop on the Enduro World Series. It was off to the Southern Hemisphere and to Chile. The train was epic, but the traction pretty much non-existent. Top EBS rider Fabian Burrell goes down big time, ending his chance on getting on the podium. Last 2 years, the battle between ACC and Tracy Moseley continues. But ACC coming out with the win. And on the men's side of things, Jerome Clements squeaked out a victory over Jared Graves. And that's how it kind of played out in Chile right there, with Jerome Clements and ACC getting the big wins out there, starting things off for the Enduro World Series. Stop number 1. Back to the amateurs on course side.
Yeah, we're still on with the master men, 30 to 39-year-olds, and I think we're going to go over to the senior men, 19 to 29s. Then we got a handful of the junior men.
Well, earlier today we saw Jackie catch up with the ladies. Jackie also had a chance to catch up with the dudes, and here's how it went down. Check it out.
All right, I'm here with Adam Craig now, just moments away from dropping in. This course, they have been naming it Crankzilla. Does it really fit that term?
Did our little Northwest posse actually come up with that, or is that someone else's idea? We're going Crankzilla Hella Mega, I think, just to up it a little bit. But yeah, this is what we do around here, so I'm glad that everybody has to do it or gets to do it.
All right. Are you nervous at all? Is there a stage that's really sticking out to you today?
I'm trying not to be too excited so that I can maintain all day. I'm definitely not nervous. I'm fired up for this. I've been waiting my whole life for this day.
Waiting your whole life. Well, you are just moments away from this dropping in, so good luck out there, Adam. I'm here with local boy Jesse Melamed. Now, you've grown up riding these tracks, so you could have like a slight advantage. Do you feel like that? You know these tracks very well.
Well, I gotta be honest, like last year I knew them well. This year they built a lot of fresh trails, which is awesome. Awesome work by all of the worker community. So they're all brand new basically this year. But yeah, I know the terrain, I know home soil. My family's here, my friends are here, so yeah, I'm gonna have an advantage for sure.
And you know how to deal with the heat, which is something that everyone has been talking about. How big of a factor is that going to be today? Already pretty warm at, you know, just 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we're gonna find out, honestly. Like, people are calling, yeah, what is it, Crankzilla? I mean, we're gonna find out soon, because no one's ridden really a full day of the course yet, and I haven't been doing full days yet, so I'll tell you at the end of the day. See how I feel.
All right, well, Jesse Melamed, 6th last year in this race and looking to improve upon it this year. Good luck, Jesse. Nico Lau, you already won a race earlier this year on the EWS Tour, so how much confidence does that give you coming into today's tough course?
This winning a series event gives you definitely much confidence, especially on a technical track like here to Whistler. I feel really good at the training. I have so much fun doing my week. I'm really excited to start the race today, really.
Well, you are known for your technical riding. How much does this course play into your skill set?
Yeah, I like technical stages. I like climbing the mountain, long day on the bikes. That means, yeah, can be good for me. Let's see which kind of feeling I have on the bike today, but I feel good.
All right, well, I just want to point out that Nico Lau is no dummy. He is from France, but he's trying to get the home crowd support. He's wearing Canadian socks, so good luck out there. Hopefully the socks bring you some luck today.
And there's a look at the great fans on hand for you here at Crankworx Whistler, the 11th year of action. That was Nico Lau. Catching up with him earlier in the day. Let's take a look at the start list we saw for the ladies. Take a look at for the guys. Here's how it's going to start out for you. There you go, 1 through 8 right there. You bring it on down with Tyler Moore in that 9th spot to Stu Dixon in that 16th spot down there. Be dropping in. Then Draper, Sean Fry, and all the way down to Cody Kaiser from the U.S. And then you make your way down to Kyle Mears down there and Newman in the mix. Seamus Powell up there too as well. You got Michael Watt in that 40th spot. Will be dropping in. Spencer Paxson down there. He'll be the 48th guy to be coming in, the open men. And as you move all the way down, you see James Green, Jordan Hodder as well. And there's Duncan Riffle right there, the tattoo man in that 58th spot, all the way down. Peter Ostrowski from the U.S. will be the 72nd person to come in. See it all the way down from 73 to 80. All the different countries being represented out here. And there you go, 88 all the way down. Here we go, Joseph Nation, Nick Geddes, who we saw compete last year. And Igo Garay down there too as well. He'll be the 104th out of Spain. We saw Mitch Ropalato there too as well. Adam Craig in that 112 spot.
Josh Chausson there, he was with us last year, injured himself. He was on commentating, but he's in full flow at the moment. He's at a 10th place in, I think, it's round 1, stage 1.
Curtis Keene, he'll be the 120th to be coming in. Joe Barnes, he had a couple podiums this year too. Seta Gracia in the mix, and then all the way down to Jared Graves. Well, you know, earlier, you know, we saw Jackie, she caught up with Nico Lau, and Nico Lau happened to be one of the big dudes to take care of business out there in Scotland. Scotland, of course, on the Enduro World Series, Scotland was the 2nd spot. And let's take a look at how everything went down in Scotland. Stop number 2 on the Enduro World Series. Take a look. In stark contrast to Chile, stop number 1 on the EWS, Scotland was a completely different style of riding. If you thought it was going to be about trail centers and smooth single track, think again. Tweed Love was about wet trails, dark shadows, and wet routes. If you're looking to crown the world's best mountain biker, you have to be able to ride all different types of terrain. Tweed Love was a breakout performance for local boy Joe Barnes. Barnes used his trail knowledge to grab 3rd place on the podium for his first ever podium finish. The sheer physicality of the Tweed Love stop caught a lot of the riders by surprise. Many called it the hardest enduro stop to date. One man who didn't struggle was Nico Lau, who put on the tweed jacket and took his first ever win on the Enduro World Series. And back to the action over here. Amateurs on course for you right now. That's how it went down in Scotland. That was stop number 2 of the Enduro World Series, 2nd year of action. as we join some of these amateurs making their way down here. The ladies coming up for you, then the men after that. Beautiful day here for Crankworx Whistler. Cy Payton, Brad J up in the booth. And Jackie Montgomery and Tristan Merrick checking in with us. Right here's plate 306 coming in right now. Airing down the GLC. And that's Kevin Feather right there. He's going to be checking in the 16th spot in the senior men, 19 to 29. And Eddie Schreier just across the line into that a top 10 position. Size 7th, pretty respectable.
Yeah, that's a good time. You can see what the guys are doing there. They're just checking. There's some stickers on the rims, on the frames, on the essential kit, just to make sure they can't swap any of the essential items over. You know, you get penalized for that. You get a 5-minute penalty if you swap any of that.
So that's
over.
why the stickers that you see on those elements right there. Oh, that's a good point. People who possibly didn't even know that, like myself right there. People don't cheat, though, do they? There's no cheating.
It's called the spirit of enduro.
The amateurs on course for you. Welcome once again. Day 3 here in Crankworx Whistler. Cy, how about that? $25,000. That's the biggest prize purse, man.
That is a serious amount of cash, you know. That's why these guys are going to be going absolutely flat out for the whole of today, really, especially this last section, 25 minutes.
Well, we'll wait for some more to come across the line. Let's check back in from Jackie this morning. Jackie Montgomery catching up with a lot of the riders.
Mitch Ropalato here with me. Now, this is only your second ever EWS race. How are you feeling right now?
I'm a little nervous right now. I'm not gonna lie. Today's gonna be a long day, so I don't think I've ever done like even an XC ride this long. So we're pretty excited to see what it's all about, though.
What makes this course so difficult that they have picked out today?
Oh, the climbs aren't easy, and then the downhills are pretty rough. So like, it's a all-around physical, like up and down.
All right. Well, good luck out there today, Mitch Ropalato. Richie Rude here with me now. He got second at the last race in Winter Park, but you decided to switch things up and go with a brand new bike. Why the switch, and how is this bike different?
Yeah, Winter Park, you rode a 5-inch travel bike, and this is a 6-inch travel bike, and I just think Whistler, you know, being rough and technical, I think, you know, I need a little bit more bike for this. So yeah, I'll need a 6-inch bike, a little more aggressive kind of geometry, so hoping it'll do well in the rough stuff here, yeah.
All right, thank you and good luck. I'm here with Curtis Keene, SRAM Specialized Rider, of course, our title sponsors for today. Curtis, how are you feeling? A long day ahead of you.
I'm feeling good. Had an easy day yesterday. I'm happy. Sun's out. I like Crankworx. It feels like home for me, so I'm itching to go here.
Now, you mentioned the sun. Everyone has been talking about the heat. How much of a factor do you think that's going to play in today?
Yeah, you just got to stay hydrated and, you know, keep food in your system. It's not as hot as California, so I'm good with it.
Any stage that is really sticking out to you for this year's course?
Always stage 5. It's a beast on its own. You know, it's a 23, 24-minute stage. Very physically demanding, especially after the first 4 stages of the day, all that climbing. So really puts a nail in the coffin for the day.
All right. Well, good luck out there today. They're calling this course Crankzilla, so hopefully it doesn't live too much up to that name.
I can't wait to see the beast.
And Curtis Keene, the American Dream right there, catching up with him, also catching up with Richie Rude, who got that second place, former downhiller. Let's take a look at stage 1 and show you, kind of break down this mother of a course. I'll tell you what, here's a look at it right here, Cy. Wow, this is big.
Yeah, no, the riders had to ride this morning, had an hour and 10 minutes to get from here at the base station here in Whistler Village right to the top. And riding that new trail there, microclimate there, you know, and that's a brand new, tough trail. It was really, really going to struggle with the riders up there from a technical point of view, especially after coming down, making that big ascent up to the top of the hill. You know, we've got Seb Kemp there. He's the guy that's been doing a lot of the trail maintenance, trail course sort of development and design. So we've got him to thank. He's been out there probably about for the last 2 weeks or so, digging and guiding in the right places, making sure the riders, you know, have got a great track in front of them.
Well, a guy who had a chance to get up there on his run on number 1. Let's take a look and listen to Tristan Merrick here. Tristan?
Thanks, guys. You said it. Stage number 1 of the Enduro World Series, Whistler, Crankworx. And I'm up at the top here. We're at Microclimate, brand new trail, open this spring. Guys have been building on it the last 3 to 4 years. As you can see, we've got amazing forest behind us, rivers. The trail just flows its way down, but it's anything from a fresh trail. It's probably the best kept secret in all of town here. It's been ridden by every local day in, day out. So that means exposed routes, lots of rocks. If that doesn't make the riders nervous enough as it is, it's stage number 1 of the Enduro World Series. Again, the wait is over. They've had a good half-hour to 45-minute pedal to get up to here. And probably all they've been thinking about is, did I practice enough and do I remember my lines? It's going to be a very technical course, and it's just stage number 1 of 5 before they go back to stage number 2, which again, another steep, technical, and freshly cut track. Back down to you guys in the booth.
Tristan Merritt catching up there, stage number 1, microclimate, and 2 kilometers right there. The allocated time for that, you got to do that within 15 minutes, which seems like I'd be out on stage number 1 if that was my situation, as we're checking some of the amps coming back across here.
You know, that is the thing, you know, stage 1, how much do you want to go? How much do you want to empty the fuel tank coming down that first stage of the course? You know, you got to keep yourselves very, very consistent. When you've got 5 stages ahead of you, you know, even a small slip there could put you out and drop you down. You know, so you've got to be careful. It's got to be a very strategic play in what you're actually going to do when you set off. You know, you've got to get a good time in. You know, you're not getting timed on the way up. You're only really getting timed on the way down. You've got 5 stages. And a lot of the riders that I spoke to earlier, they really are saving themselves a stage 5, the big one. And that's when they've been trying to put as many practice laps in as possible, because they know over 25 minutes, that's what's going to count.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. You got 5 stages you're dealing with. So if you just want to give her on stage number 1, you got 4 more stages to go, and this is one of the biggest ones to do. So you could actually, you can't win it on stage 1, but you could definitely lose it on stage 1 if you go too big right off the bat, right?
Yeah, you know, and such loose, dusty trail conditions, you know, and I'm not going to say the track's been battered up there, but there's a lot of people been practicing, so you know, that course is going to be evolving, changing as the weekend's gone on. You know, the course was revealed on Thursday, people were riding on Friday, on Saturday, and of course today, you know, for the main race itself.
And these guys aren't able to come out here and practice on this course as well, right? If they get caught, they could be disqualified before the race if they come out here 2 days early to get on it, right?
Yeah, that's right. You know, I flew over on Thursday. There was a couple of people on the plane coming over from London. And I was thinking, wow, are they keeping this a little bit tight landing here? You know, a bit of jet lag. They're going to be landing Friday morning, a little bit tired. But, you know, that's when everyone was out on course. That's when the course map came out. So, of course, there's going to be some local advantage. People will be riding some of the courses, but it wasn't mapped out until that day. So, you know, it's pretty fair for everyone. You know, you go around the world, there's always going to be some local favorites that are going to know the tracks like the back of the hand. But that's part of the Enduro World Series, you know.
And Fanny Paquette crossing the line, and it was 3rd for her on the finish right there. Well, you know what? Of course, we're looking at stage 5 right now, but let's take a look at stage 1, and let's bring in the booth with us right now, Richie Slay. Come on in here, Richie. Right over here, man. Got Richie Slay in the booth with us, and we're going to go on board, I think, Richie, with Curtis Keene here. And you can talk us through this, man, right?
Well, the beginning of this loose and dry, it's a fairly new trail. So with all this dry weather, it's changing every day and every time these guys ride the course. So I think there's new surprises that they didn't see in practice, and who knows what's going to come up next.
Now, this is a trail that you've ridden before, right? You've been up there in microclimate?
Yeah, I rode it the other day, and it's a fantastic trail, but like I say, it's changing with all the traffic these guys are putting through it. It's dusty. As you can see, this time of day, the sun shadow makes it completely complicated for these guys because they're hauling butt, they're tired, and all of a sudden they come into a dark spot and their eyes got to adjust. So it's completely challenging. I think the riders are very challenged by all stages.
How much work went into getting microclimate into working order so they could actually hold this enduro on it?
Well, we were fortunate that some gnomes built the trail, and we asked nicely if we could use it, and then we just had to buff it up a little bit. But no, there was a lot of work. I think Warka and Seb Kemp, they went to town on all of these trails to make them safer and more flowy for the race. Although I think some of the racers would agree with the flow statement.
Now, I saw Tristan when he was standing in the picture, it had a no Strava Why are they urging no one to Strava this? Because we don't want people knowing where microclimate is?
Well, that would be the obvious thought for me. You know, the steep and deep secrets you want to keep private for the locals.
Well, now these guys are going to know where it's at. I mean, we got 350 people racing this course today.
Yeah, but when they hand in their transponders, we give them a mind erasing pill so they never know where the goods are out in the Whistler Valley, right?
So will this course actually be closed after this event, or will it be open in the future?
Oh, of course it's open, and Whistler has given back and tried to buff up the trails before and committed to putting money into fixing the trails after, because obviously there's a lot of erosion that happens from these races.
Yeah, and one of the things I heard, of course, about this enduro race is $5,000 go to work actually to go to trail maintenance on these trails, right?
Exactly, and that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but you got a bunch of little guys out there working for the cause. It's not a big, you know, it's a lot of volunteer work and stuff like that. So that money goes a long ways to bring these trails back into perfect shape.
Well, an amazing view right here with Curtis Keene. How's he stacking up on this so far, the way you're seeing Curtis Keene handling stage one?
Well, Curtis is looking pretty good going down here. I mean, he doesn't seem to be bobbling. The camera's not shaking too much. So I would say all in all, he's pretty fast.
Well, he is running that brand new Specialized 650B, that new carbon enduro bike. So, you know, last year he rode that 29er, didn't he? And he's on a 650B this year. I think, yeah, last year, didn't he? He didn't finish stage 5. He punctured.
Yeah, he had a puncture on stage 5, wasn't able to get done.
Very curious how many 26-inch wheels are actually in this race today.
So what would you say? How many do you think, if you had to say how many 26-inch wheels are out there, if you had to guess out of these riders?
Well, I'm kind of thinking in the pro category, there might not be any. Maybe in the amateurs, some of the guys haven't updated their bikes so recently.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was up there early this morning. I think the pros, I didn't see one 26-inch bike. Everyone was on 650B. And in fact, very few were on 29ers due to the technicalities of this course.
So I think we're going to be able to take a look at some of the results so far. And here's the results so far for the open women right here. This is stage 1 results. And you can see Cecile Ravanel right there, #1 spot. ACC, the #2. Tracy Moseley, and then Annika Bertsen in that 4th. But you've been seeing those top 3, the same top 3, it seems like almost every single Enduro World Series stop. That's been 1, 2, or 3 for either one of those.
Yeah, if you look at that, Tracy Moseley, she's leading the series at the moment on 1,900 points. Second behind there is Chausson on 1,850 points, and third, Cecile Ravanel. So really is those 3 swapping and changing for their results.
Why don't we take a look and see the stage 1 results for the dudes here. See if we can take a look at that. And then you got Martin Mays, 6:18.75, the Belgian rider right there in the #1 spot. Damien On, who's been on the podium. Nico Lau also been on the podium. Joe Barnes has been up on the podium this year. And you see Curtis Keene, who we're just on board with in that 7th spot. And you got Dan Atherton from Great Britain down there in the 14th spot. Rope-a-dope in the 9th spot right there.
And if I can say, look, Jared Graves there in a very unfamiliar 17th place, 17 seconds off the lead there. 17th place for him, not a nice spot.
All right, we got the AMs crossing the line, but let's check back in with Tristan Merrick earlier in the day up on stage #1.
Thanks, guys. Up here on microclimate, stage #1 of the Enduro World Series Whistler. And we're just doing a bit of mining right now. We're mining for some loam. We've got nothing but this fresh dirt the entire way down the trail. It's a treat to ride on. Makes everything seem silent. But, of course, so in between the loam, though, we got nothing but roots and rocks. Big roots, big rocks, and lots of geodes. So riders are going to have to be doubling up here between stuff. Otherwise, it's going to make it real taxing on their arms, lower back, and legs. But there's lots of time to be made. I know there's a lot of gaps here. So hopefully everybody's been studying the last couple days, getting a lot of practice in from top to bottom to make this an easy trail on them. But it's only stage #1 of the Enduro World Series, and they've got 4 more stages after this. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Tristan Merrick, spot on, the captain right there, catching up on stage #1. Well, it is time for a Crankworx update to bring you up close and personal to what has been going on so far here. Well, first up, what happened yesterday, of course, in speed and style? The Cliff Bar dual speed and style competition taking place yesterday.
You know, that's a great event there, Brad J. You know, it brings two of the best things about mountain biking, racing, you know, what we call slopestyle or freestyle, as you may want to call it, when we got the two riders head-to-head, battling together, fastest one down the course. But, of course, they get, I say points, but they get time taken off their exact race time for pulling a good trick. You know, whoever pulls the best trick coming down that course doesn't get penalized. They get the time taken off, and they hopefully get a chance to move forward into what it's like almost like BMX racing, where they come down from the quarters to the semis into the finals.
And a guy like Cam Zink, who's just been on fire, basically he's been on fire all the way through and every single competition he's been in. But then, you know, guys like Kyle Strait coming in, Greg Watts has been doing good this year in speed and style. There you go, Kyle Strait takes the big win. Kyle Strait wins speed and style. And then we talk about tank tops and big drops. Why do we talk about tank tops and big drops? You were wearing a tank top earlier. Why were you wearing a tank top?
A tank top?
Because it was hot.
If you're from England, you're lucky I wasn't wearing a bikini. You know, the temperatures, they are soaring at the moment here at Crankworx Whistler.
That's a visual I did not need right there. Tank tops and big drops when the blue sky is out and the weather is solid. And then, of course, the Enduro World Series invasion going on. Second year, but back right here, large and in charge. Stop number 6.
And it really is an invasion. You know, the amount of international riders that you look at the flags that are coming up next to the results, you know, it is an invasion. We have been invaded here by the international, the foreign riders. But, you know, everyone's been made so welcome, no matter what the language barrier. Everyone's got a smile on their face here at Crankworx Whistler.
I don't see how you can't have it. Well, that's your Crankworx update for day number 3. As we take our attention back up top of the course, Gonzalo Rodriguez, master man, 30-39 from Argentina. Like you were saying, I mean, world-class field. I mean, guys from Argentina, guys from Chile, from Great Britain.
You know, and that's a big trip to take over from Argentina.
Yeah.
Now, that's some flight. That's probably longer it took him for me to get from the UK over here.
He definitely had some air miles to put in to get over here. Stoked on that. And welcome, joining us day number 3 out here. The amateurs on course, pros coming up a little bit later. Welcome to the webcast. All you people watching us here live here at Whistler and the people watching us at home. Thanks for joining us. Hey, you know, we talked a lot about speed and style. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from speed and style. You down? All right, let's do this. Speed and style highlights from yesterday. Take a look at this.
Hello and welcome to Crankworx. We're here for another Super Bowl of mountain biking here at Whistler. This is the Cliff Bar Speed and Style with 1 run on each course for the athletes. Each jump is a .85 bonus. Head-to-head elimination till there's only one left.
And what speed and style is all about is basically a track where you can go fast and you can do tricks on it.
It's gravity fed, also with a bit of pedaling, and yeah, get down, get rad, and be fast.
You got to go perfect mixture of fast and good tricks, because if you're just fast, the other guy can tackle you with the deductions on the tricks and vice versa. So
I don't know, just make it to finals was my expectation, so I'm here and I'm happy about it.
To Cliff Bar dual speed and style coming up.
How they like you, how like wolves are, but how they like you. In this old city, talk floats like pollution. Well, of course you suck it, but you don't know why you're doing. They place your feet in choreographed revolutions. You got to move to the mountains just to see all the ruin.
Who's gonna get her done? Back to racing.
Definite hole shot going to Barry, but Ryan Howard not too far behind. Our dog getting the tricks, and he's picking up a lot of speed after that first cliff jump hit. Ryan Howard
And that's going to be Ryan Howard as well. And that's going to be a clean sweep for Ryan Howard. And he will take the bronze. Put your hands together for Ryan Howard, the bronze medal winner.
Kyle gets the snap out of the gate. Whole shot to Kyle straight. Back apart out of Greg. Oh! Is Greg going to be able to hold off for the last corner? Kyle pushes through. 0.04 seconds.
And the gold goes to Kyle Straight with the silver medal going to Greg Watts.
You know, strategy coming into it was focused on each rider at hand. So every time I went against a certain rider, I kind of watched a lot of dudes in practice and seeing what their speed was at and what their tricks were doing. So I'm saying, like, going against Cam Zink, I knew I had to beat him on the first jump, and then definitely beat him in the time because I knew he was going to blast something crazy at the bottom. So I mean, each run was a different strategy.
Put that gold medal around his neck. There you go. One more time. Good people of Whistler. Ryan Howard with the bronze, Greg Watts with the silver, and Kyle Straight taking the gold. And that's how it played out right there. Good stuff out there at Speed and Style. The Cliff Bar dual speed style going on yesterday. Congratulations to Kyle Straight taking that big win. Kyle making things happen in a big way. Tough break for Cam Zink, not able to get to the top of the podium like he did in France. But I mean, you know what? You can't always have your day, but it was Kyle Straight's day for sure yesterday. That's how it all played out for you there. But now, highlights. Let's talk about highlights from France. We were out in France just a little bit over a month ago out there in Les Deux Alpes. And let's take a look at more from France and the highlights. Take a look at this.
If Scotland was tight, twisty, and dark, Valois in France was the complete opposite. The third stop on the EWS featured the most vert of any stops to date. The fact that it was lift assisted and not pedal up allowed the riders on the EWS to tackle more vert in 2 days than a whole year on the Enduro World Series. Rough and fast, that was an understatement. On the women's side of the equation, the battle continued between ACC and Tracy Moseley, with Tracy Moseley eking out the victory over ACC. On the men's side, Jared Graves gets his first win of the season on the Enduro World Series.
And of course, that wasn't Les Deux Alpes, that was France. That was stop number 3 for the Enduro World Series. Congratulations to Jared Graves with the win, and Tracy Moseley taking the win on the ladies' side. Hey, if you want to check out the timing, please do that at Crankworx.com. Crankworx.com. You get all the amateur timing coming across there as all our amateurs are coming across the line. Pros coming up in just a little bit. Here comes 145 plate number crossing the line, and that is Brandon Sloan from the U.S. Yeah. That's going to be an 8 spot. There's Brandon right behind there, 147. You can see right behind that rider right there.
Wow, and he's looking cooked.
It's a long day, man. 5 stages. All right, let's talk a little bit about the equipment, Si. I mean, I know that you know so much about the equipment it takes to ride these kind of stages. Can you talk a little bit about it, man?
Well, you know what? Things have really, really changed over the last 18 months or so. The biggest change is wheel size. Now, that almost causes an argument in some camps, but, you know, it has kind of been proved that, you know, the 650B wheel, 27.5 inch, that's halfway between almost the standard 26-inch mountain bike wheel and the 29er.
Yeah.
No, you've got a 29er sat over there, Brad.
Yeah, but the 27.5 is now basically the standard, is what people are comparing everything to now, right?
Yeah, you know, there's been a few riders last year that were on the 29ers, like Curtis Keene, Annika Burton, but, you know, they've moved back to the 650B wheel, the slightly smaller wheel. You know, it still carries a lot more speed than the 26-inch. It rolls over the bumps a little bit better. It smooths the track out. and it rolls a little bit faster. But talking of Annika's bike, let's have a little look at this now.
There we go.
So rider Annika Bertone riding the Specialized. This is the brand new 2015 Enduro 650B, brand new carbon bike. Now, when is this actually going to be out? That is going to be the big question on everyone's lips, and how much is that going to cost as well? But just let's have a look. The SRAM XX1, so single chain ring there. You know, she's running that chain device, the top one there. She's running the SPD clipped-in pedals. Look at the large ratio cassette at the back there. Running a single read. I'm thinking that's probably around about a 32 tooth at the front. Could be slightly smaller. Can't count all those teeth just from here at the moment. But, you know, that's to make sure she can get up all those big hills with that large ratio cassette at the back. You know, there's 4 big climbs here. Spoke to her about riding the 29er. She thought this was going to be the bike of choice today. This was going to be the weapon that she thought she could challenge for the win on.
And so this bike is obviously not out yet. So when this comes out, this is going to people are going to be running to their bike shops to try and buy this.
You know, that will be a standard bike. You'll be able to buy that off the shelf, Brad. If you've got the cash, you can buy that one.
If you got the cash, you can buy a lot of things off the shelf.
Yeah, that's pretty much a standard bike that you will buy there. Just make sure you've got enough pennies in the bank. That'll be available, I'm guessing, sometime around about December.
Let's take a look at stage 2, what these riders got to face. And that's going to be the trail. It's going to be crazy train for stage 2. Take a look at this right here, Enduro stage. It's a crazy train. You can see the difference in meters from the drop on that. And you're looking at, when you look at that, distance is 1.98 kilometers. You start at 1111 on the meter size, and you finish at 721. So that's 390 that you're dropping. You got to do it in 15 minutes as well. So it's still not giving you time. Not a lot of time. I mean, it's giving you time, but when you've got 5 stages you're dealing with, Si, that seems like that's not a lot of time.
Yeah, Richie, can you tell us a bit about that stage 2? You've been up there, you've rode down there.
Down Crazy Train. Yeah, that's one of my old favorite trails. I don't think I've ridden it for something like 12 years, and they did put a lot of work into that trail, and it's pretty, you know, the first trail warms you up to this technical Whistler riding, and then Crazy Train throws you right into the mix.
Well, speaking of Crazy Train, stage number 2, let's check back in with Tristan Merrick, who was up at stage 2 earlier today. Up to Tristan.
Thanks, guys. We're not even 100 meters into stage number 2, Crazy Train. And as you can see right in front of me here, we've got our first real big feature the riders are going to have to navigate. We've got ourselves a big rock chute, bit of a fin down there. So what are you going to do? That is the biggest thing. There are so many options on today's tracks. Do you go down to the right, which is rut it out and risk maybe hitting a rotor, tearing off a derailleur? Or do you go onto the left-hand side? You can see a completely new, fresh ride-around line. Roots, though, are coming out, making that exposed and slippery. So Crazy Train, the name of the game, and it's not just a brand new trail, but it's a revamped trail. So it's been around for decades, but we've just freshened things up here at the EWS Whistler at Crankworx. So riders have lots to navigate, lots to think about, and just one of the many things here they're going to have to work their way down. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, Tristan Merrick right there, catching up with him, the captain. Breaking it down, stage number 2. Now we're at stage 5 with the amateurs right here. As the AMs are crossing the line here. Look like plate number 130, I think, was the number on that one. There we go, 130, there we go.
Yeah, Jody Kaiser there, the American rider on the 130 plate, coming in hot down the last part of this course. Still giving it full chat after probably 25 minutes worth of descending.
How relieved are you to come down the GLC and see that you got a finish line? Cody Kaiser, the time in for Cody, is going to check in the 13th spot. Just 9.59 off that top pace, a 104.12 and some change for Cody Kaiser.
You know, and just looking there, he's lost his backpack, he's lost his open face helmet. He's probably ditched everything at the end of stage 4 to take it all up to the top there to try and lighten himself as much as he can. He's only got his water bottle on there.
Well, we caught up, we saw Curtis Keene on stage 1. Why don't we go on board with Curtis Keene on stage number 2? And Richie, break this down for us. This is Curtis Keene coming down stage number 2 for us.
Well, you start out on the old Crazy Train, and they've rerouted some things, but much like stage 1, it's a lot of technical routes, rocks, you know, it's so hot, there's loose dirt everywhere. But the thing that's different about this trail gets a little steeper. You get in some rock faces. There's some go-arounds to what I guess would be pro lines. And there's some very challenging stages on here. I think I heard some of the girls were concerned that in normal race conditions they haven't had to walk sections, and I think there's some sections here that are so technical and so difficult that they're concerned they may have to get off their bike.
And you know what surprises me about this, Richie? That, you know, a lot of the riders, you'll see them just in like knee pads. Yeah, they've got the full face on, but you know, like a lot of the downhillers would be wearing the elbow pads, the back protection. You know, these guys are going full chat, full speed, you know, in minimum protection.
Well, I think that the bad luck would be to fall on the rocks. But a lot of the terrain around here, Whistler, we have this beautiful mossy carpet. And I think it's always a decision, or do you want to stay cool and keep your energy from your cooling system, or do you wear the protection? So it's always a tough decision for these guys, I think.
You know what this does for me, seeing these pictures here, this screen in front of us, this reminds me of some of the trails like back home in the UK, in Wales and in Scotland. And it's really not what Whistler's known for. Everyone knows the bike park, you know, the boneyard, and they think that's what Whistler is all about. But this really does open my eyes and think, you know, I want to be bringing out my trail bike next time I come here, rather than just hitting the park, you know, and getting sore hands over 7 or 8 days. This looks like the place to come and ride.
Well, I think the Valley Trails of Whistler, the unsung hero, as this is how it all started, was this kind of riding, and that inspired the bike park and this kind of riding. So there's a lot of hidden gems around this valley, and the enduro scene and the enduro racing is actually exposing it a little more to people. So I think that people from far and wide are realizing how diverse hill riding is here. It's not just a downhill park.
So what advice would you give to someone, say, you know, that maybe have been to Whistler before, or a Whistler virgin, they're coming here and they want to try and bring the trail bike and experience some of the trails that we've seen here? Would they go and find these themselves? Is it easy to do that? Would they need to get themselves a guide? What would be the best way? What would your advice be?
Well, you can definitely get a guide, but with our local bike association here, WORCA, they've laid everything out so well. There's great maps, there's signage, so it's actually not that hard to find the stuff.
Nice. Well, you know what? We had a chance. Pink Bike put together a nice little highlight package from Stage 1 and Stage 2. And we're going to be able to take a look at some of the actual footage from what went down on Stage 1 and 2 earlier this morning. We'll be able to talk you through it as we get that locked and loaded for you. Here's a look at it right here. Stage 1 and 2. You can see some of these guys going at it right here.
Yeah, it's pretty technical there. You can see these guys. The difference in the race here to what some of the races in the year are is it's so physical, it's so technical. I mean, look what they have to deal with. So just sheerly holding on through all these stages is totally exhausting. And you can see they're using all their travel, and it's you know, difficult to find the bike setup. You got to have bigger tires, maybe different suspension, and the courses are so blown out from the warm weather. So you can see there's been a lot of crashes. There's so many line choices. It's technical as can be. It's slippery.
So tell me, Richie, when was the last time you actually had a decent amount of rain here at Whistler?
I have no idea. It seems like years ago.
And taking a look at here, just some of the highlights here from Stage 1 and 2. From earlier today, you can see, and one thing that stands out of my mind is seeing the different lines that these guys take. And let's take a look, see if we could take a look at our leaderboard so far and see where we're stacking up so far in the day here. Your SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized. So we'll take a look at the leaderboard after Stage 2. We got to see it after 1, but this is the leaderboard after Stage 2. And there you go. No surprises there, guys. Your top 3.
Yeah, that's a very consistent top 3. Those 3, you know, they're always swapping and changing. Anne-Caroline Chausson, their first place rider, the French rider. A country compatriot there, Cecile Ravanel in 2. And Tracy Moseley, a bit off the pace there, 30 seconds off the lead at the moment. So that's unusual for her to have such a big gap, you know, after just 2 short stages.
And that's what it seems like. It'll start separating at that point from one stage to another. And then this is just from 1 to 2, seeing some of the big changes out there. Let's take a look at the leaderboard from Stage 2 for the guys and see how that stacked up for everyone. There you go right there. Any surprises to you right there, guys?
Hey, well, Jesse Melamede, you know, he knows this place like the back of the hand. Richie, tell me about him.
Well, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and just showed up last year without knowing his name really on the world scene, and I think he surprised everyone. He's an incredibly good technical rider, very fit. He's a little anxious, so what's been happening to him in this race today is he's had a few falls, but with a crash, he was still leading after stage 2, so let's see how he fares down the road here.
Is that also because he knows the mountain so good that he can have a fall and still try and make up times in certain areas?
Well, I think so, but we were noticing that he gets off the ground very quickly. So I think he's just making silly mistakes because he's young and he's probably so anxious that he's just probably stoked to be competing with all these top guys in the world.
And indeed, I mean, Cecile, we're talking about world-class field, people from all over the world coming up and showing up to compete in the Enduro World Series out here, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a handful there of World Cup downhill superstars. You know, we've just saw Cedric Gracia. I think he was in 19th, 20th place there. You can't beat that guy on a bike. That guy has got style for miles, but he's super fit as well. We've got even some of the young guns and some super fit guys like Remy Absalon there. He's back in 46th place, you know. He's like a racehorse, you know. So why is he back in there? That's interesting to see, so.
And that's how it stacks up. Stage 2. But now it's time to focus a little bit of attention on stage 3. And of course, we had Tristan Merrick, the captain. He was up there on stage 3, and he'll give us a little insight on what's going on with stage 3. Tristan.
Thanks, guys. That is right. I am up here right now on one of the many climbing trails. It's the transition, depending on how you look at it. Just getting up to stage number 1 or getting up to stage number 2 of Crazy Train, which is right behind us. So as you can see here, it's clearly marked, but we've got fresh cut trail. So a big thing, I think, that caught everybody off by surprise of what they announced trail-wise is how are we going to get around? How are the riders going to get between the stages? But as you can see behind me here, we've got clearly a fresh cut trail, which makes things a little bit harder. It's not as easy. You're not climbing up an access road or a paved road, so the riders are still really having to work for it and earn their vert to get to the start of stage number 1, which is right behind us here as it climbs up to microclimate. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, thank you so much, Tristan Merrick. Catching up with us, breaking down the stages one by one as our amateurs coming across the line here. The pros coming up for you a little bit. And of course, this is the big day here for your SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized. Stop number 6 on the Enduro World Series with $25,000 total prize money. The richest prize purse going on for your Enduro World Series. Well, time to take a look at stop number 4. The Enduro World Series made their way to Italy, and this is how it went down. Check it out, stop number 4. On the border between France and Italy was another new stop on the Enduro World Series in 2014. La Tuile, a new destination for mountain biking, and the trails were fresh, steep, and loamy. Over the course of 2 days of racing and a combination of pedal transfers and lifts, racers experienced true mountain weather and what many considered true mountain biking. The sheer physicality of Enduro once again showed its head with punishing tracks, high speeds, and incredibly close times. The Women's Series this year is turning out to be a head-to-head battle between ACC and Tracy Moseley. Both riders traded stage victories here in Italy, with Moseley getting the big win. And on the men's side, with 4 different winners and 4 different stops, this time it was Damien Naughton with the win. And it's your SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized. Amateurs on course for you. The pros coming up here in a beautiful Bluebird day here in Whistler. Crankworx Whistler will be coming back at you with more racing action when we return.
Trust me, I miss all of y'all.
I can see it the way you like. I can do it the way you want. Riding my motorcycle. You got a license. You got no right to.
And welcome to the world once again, SRAM Canadian Open Enduro, presented by Specialized. Day number 3, Crankworx Whistler. 11 years of Crankworx here in Whistler. And we got the amateurs on course for you right now. All the amateur ladders making their way down here for stage number 5, as you can see here at the base of Skiers Plaza off that GLC drop. Darren Seeds in the 14th spot for your open men. And just 5.5 seconds off that top time so far, as we're bringing all the pros across here and showing you what a crazy course this is indeed, with 5 stages and 4 uphill sections comparative to last year's 2 uphill. So much gnarlier out here too, and with the heat making it even tougher for some of these world-class racers. All right, well, we gotta talk to you about, of course, what to watch for when it comes down to what do you watch for out in a rating like this. Plate 91 on course for us right now. All right, here we go. Keys to the comp. Cy, can you take us through the keys to the comp, man?
You know, equipment management, you've got to look after your gear, and it's going to look after you. But that's so hard. You know, 5 different stages. Trying to look after your kit, you know, it's going to be very difficult to lube and try and maintain your bike while you're out up there on the trails. You know, fresh trails, you know, as Richie was saying earlier, they are changing every minute. The course is getting blown out, rocks are getting exposed, so are the routes as well, so you've got to be very careful. And the fatigue factor as well as the heat on that, do you know what I mean? That is an awesome factor that's going to be so hard to maintain. We were talking to Tracy Moseley earlier. She's measuring out how much water and carbohydrates she's going to be taking every hour down to the ounce. So she's looking at that fatigue factor and making sure she can stay on track. And the last one, the legendary final stage. Richie, can you tell me that? I've never done right up there. Can you tell me about it?
Well, the last time I did it was 3 years ago, and I actually had to stop at the halfway or at the bottom of Angry Pirate because I could not feel my hands from the elbows down. So aside from the day stacked on top, it's just holding on in that position, and it's, you know, you're basically doing a 20-minute, 25-minute downhill run on an inferior bike to a downhill bike. So you're really having to hold on and finesse the trail, and it's a lot of work.
And the thing is, though, but you've gotten 4 stages under your belt. You'd think you would be a little bit relieved as you got to stage 5, but it's a lot of work, as you're saying, just to get through stage 5 on the equipment that you're riding.
Yeah, stage 5 is like probably twice as long as any other stage up there as well. And, you know, you say you do it on a downhill bike, which has got 8 inches of travel. These bikes, you know, 160, 6 inches of travel, so it's so much harder for me. You'll see the riders coming down, shaking the hands as they cross that finish line. You know, the arm pump, just trying to hold on, is absolutely killer.
I think we got Duncan Riffle right now. Plate 85 coming across the line. Going to be the time for him. We'll see where he is at. Looks like possibly.
He's looking down. I don't know if he had a slight mechanical there where he lost his chain or something. I'm not sure whether that's still on, but he was looking down. But as you can see, the commissaires, they're just checking that they've got all the stickers on the bike. It hasn't changed any of the parts. It's a 5-minute penalty if you do that, so that would really take you out of the rankings.
So when you talk about that, they put stickers on individual parts on the bike just to make sure you can't change it because it's part of the rules in Enduro, right?
That's right, yeah. They put it on the frame, the forks, they put it on the rims, I think some parts in the cockpit as well, just to make sure that you don't be changing too much stuff. I do know the likes of Jared Graves, he is changing his chain ring. He's running a 34 tooth at the moment. He's going to be banging a 38 tooth on for Section 5.
Well, we're going to be able to have a chance to look at stage 3 in a second. Here we go. Sean Buckle right there. Going to be the time. That's Matt Ryan in the second spot right there. We're open, Matt Ryan right there into second. Nicely done right there. Let's take a look at stage 3. Check the map on this one. Break it down stage 3. This is what stage 3 is all about.
So there's stage 3 switchbacks. Elevation lost 430 meters. Distance itself is just over 3 kilometers there.
And once again, the allocated time on that 15 minutes to complete stage 3. All right, well, it's time to check back in with Tristan Merrick. Track selection on stage 3. Tristan, earlier in the day.
All right, guys, you said it. I'm down here at the bottom of stage number 3. We're down here at the bottom of Binties. Up way further on that hillside, though, way up there is 27 switchbacks. So different trail. The first 2 trails, fresh, loamy, new. Again, though, as we're getting further into the heart of the Whistler Trail system, we're getting to more established trails. So something quite a bit different, though. Lots of berms, a lot wider on this trail. 27 switchbacks, big flat corners. But, you know, there's going to be a lot of high lines. So do you swoop? Do you keep your speed up and have good exit speed? But for the real technical riders, so you can see here, we've already got an established inside line, but the dirt, extremely loose and soft. So you got to commit 100% to those. Yes, that'll save you a few seconds here and there, but it also can cost you quite a few if you blow out one of those corners. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, there, Tristan Merrick. Checking in stage number 3, all about the track selection. Well, it's time to check in with, I think, the 5th member of our team, somewhere around there. Jackie Montgomery, standing by. Jackie, what's going on?
Thanks, Brad. There are a lot of us out here today, and I'm in the SRAM tent right now with Tim Flukes, a European SRAM technician, but you are really an enduro specialist flown in just for this event.
Yeah, that's right. I do all the enduros throughout the world, primarily in Europe. But they shipped me in for Crankworx, which is fantastic. I'm loving it.
Your first time out here, right?
First time at Crankworx, I was in Whistler in '95, and it's changed a lot.
Quite a bit has changed from 95 to now. And we're talking about shocks. We've seen several different shocks that the riders are using, mainly the air shock, obviously, and then the coil shock. And then you have this like one-off shock that you have made specifically for some of the SRAM athletes. Can you kind of walk us through what you have on the table?
Okay, on the table we've got 2 air shocks. The first one is a Monarch Plus with Debonair, new for this year. The Debonair makes it much plusher on the initial travel, so it's buttery smooth. And this is being used by Damon Alton at the moment, who's currently 2nd, I think. And then we've got the Vivid Air, and this one is being used by Curtis Keene, and we've made a very special one, black box one, where he asked us for a lockout, and so we've kind of done a little work, run away, and so he has all the candy, basically.
Curtis is kind of a big deal. So when you're a big deal like Curtis Keene, you can kind of conceptualize your own shock, what exactly you're looking for, and then you guys make it happen?
Yeah, that's right. And then eventually a lot of that technology will trickle down to the consumer in a year or 2's time, I think.
And then our last shock that we have here, the coil shock.
Yeah, the last one, we have a coil. Some of the riders, there's only 1 or 2, are using a coil. Primarily because it's purely gravity here, and they don't mind a little extra weight, and they're good at spring selection, and it just means it can be a little bit kind of more reactive to the smaller stuff. But like I say, we've only got a couple of riders on coils here.
Now, when these athletes are riding this grueling 5-stage event with such technically diverse terrain, what do you suggest for them when they're going out there?
The one they like, and get it set for them. You know, we play with the air pressures, the valving, and just the dials. Hopefully we can get it done just by turning the knobs on outside the shock.
All right, well, that's going to do it here from the SRAM tent. Thanks so much for your time, Tim. Guys, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, thank you so much. Jackie down there in the mix, the SRAM tent, bringing us up close to what's going on out here. Welcome everybody joining us here. SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized. I think it's time to take a look at Josh Carlson's bike here in Bike Check and see if Sai, you want to help us through this one? We got 71 coming across right now. Peter Ostraki, it looks like, crossing what's going to be the time for Peter, Open Men category 24:13.97. So we'll see where that stacks up with the rest of the competitors. But here we go. Josh Carlson, this is the bike check here with Sai.
Yeah, Josh Carlson from the Giant Factory Off-Road team. He's running that brand new 2015 Giant Rain. That's the brand new carbon one. I think that was released and shown last week in Pemberton. One very interesting thing you want to have a look, we were talking with Tim Flukes back there. Carlson is the only one at the moment on the Giant team to be running that coil shock. Everyone else is on the air shock. Spoke to him earlier, he just prefers that just because of the course and the nature of it. He thinks it's a real tough course on some of these descents. He thinks that's going to help him out. On the rear there, he's got the Schwalbe semi-slick. He's got the Muddy Mary on the front there. I don't know how big that frame is, though. He's a big guy, so he might be running the large in that Giant. So, but a bigger bike, the 650B, 27.5. He reckons that's the one. He's running the SRAM XX1 on the front there. Still got the MRP chainring. Looks like it's got the bash guard on there as well. So he reckons he's going to do well.
Well, nicely done. Sai breaking it down for us. Josh Carlson, bike check right there. All right. Well, Tristan has now joined us up here hanging with us. Tristan, can you kind of break down the story of the day so far in your eyes?
There's many, many stories today. Where do we want to start? Women's, men's, the juniors, crashes. We've got so many. I think probably the biggest story of the day is last year's winner. His day has not gotten off on a good foot. Blown suspension on stage number 1, rear brake not working on stage number 2. But then coming back, getting a second place on stage number 3, and he's well within striking distance after just those first 3 stages, which is scary.
So we're talking, of course, with Jared Graves, of course, trouble on the first 2 stages, but able to redeem himself some redemption on stage 3.
100%, 100%. I mean, he's been training for stage 5. He's been training for stage 5. That's what Jared Graves does. He did it last year. I think the secret's out a little bit. I think everybody else has been training just as hard, but I wouldn't surprise me if he gets the same time as last year. At the end of the day, he may just pull this out, which I think is a huge comeback story to have those 2 things. He was not stoked at the end of stage 1. He was not happy at the end of stage 2. Stage 3, though, when I showed him he got second place, he was pretty okay with that, I think. He was like, you know what? I can make hay on a sunny day, and he's going to make some hay.
So you kind of turned him around by letting him know, dude, you're still in the mix. I mean, even though you kind of screwed up 1 and 2, you're okay on 3.
Well, he puts professional and professional. I mean, he is a pro through and through. He knows what it's like. He's an Olympian. This is his job. He does not take this stuff lightly. So he's been on the bike. He's been doing what he needs to do. And I know stage 5, that's his stage.
And Sai, it's one of those things, you just don't want to be frustrated. If you have trouble on stage 1, if you have trouble on stage 2, you still just got to kind of wipe it out of your head and just concentrate on the rest of the stages, try and get up there on the leaderboard.
You know, this is not the 100 meters. This is the marathon, Brad. You know, you got to remember that. And Jared Graves currently, at the moment, he's in 9th place. So, you know, he's still in the mix. He's only 29 seconds off the top spot. So we know last year, 22 seconds, I believe, he was in front of the rest. So he could still pull this one out the back.
Well, we talk about Jared Graves doing good on stage 3, not so good on 1 and 2, but let's take a look at some of the highlights from stage number 3. Take a look at these right here, guys.
All right, so this is stage number. This is stage.
And stage 3, as we're taking a look at it right here.
Real rough and tumble again. 27 switchbacks is the upper section. Normally a climbing trail. On screen, though, we got lower Binties, old school, rough, gnarly. One of my personal favorites. I know I was looking forward to it had I been able to get on that race course. You see just huge boulders. Nothing like, nothing like grapefruit-sized rocks rolling down, even watermelons. You got to avoid these things. Very, very difficult.
That just shows that there is so much work, and that's one of your favorite trails?
It is personally one of my favorite trails. It's on the loop that I normally do on West Side Road, and it's a good way to finish up. You start on that, but in race format, I know just talking to everybody today, the climbing trail, 27 switchbacks, just big, flat corners. I know Curtis Keene said to me at the bottom, he's like, that isn't a climbing trail anymore. That being said, we've got Workout, we've got our great sponsors who are going to put the money back into bringing that trail into its normal conditions.
And that's what
as much as you may go up there tomorrow morning and be like, Darn, this is not, if you go for a climb tomorrow morning, don't go climb that trail. But you know what, Warka and the fine folks here at Crankworx, they're gonna put money back into that and restore that trail into its regular condition, and it'll be a climbing trail.
You know, and that's one of the things a lot of people don't even realize that, you know, yeah, there's prize money given out, but money is put back into the trail maintenance side there because these are world-class trails, and you wanna keep them in good shape. So what a better way to do it than put money back into it from this, right?
Oh, 100%, 100%. The last thing you want to see is lack of sustainability. I know at Crankworx, they want to have the Enduro World Series here year after year. I know what courses they revealed this year, none of us would have ever thought, hey, this is what we get to race. So they're putting their money where their mouth is, and they are making it happen here for Crankworx. And I can't wait to see, you know, what the future holds for the EWS and in Whistler.
It just gets better and better every single year. So happy the Enduro World Series is part of Crankworx going on right now. As we're taking a look at some of our racers, finish things up, open men category, open women category on course. I think we can take a look at the leaderboard here for stage 3. Here's how stage 3, you guys surprised? I'm not surprised.
No, and Caroline Chausson there showing her true colors in first place, 5 seconds in front of her fellow French rider Cecile Ravanel, but Tracy Moseley there back in third. So
how can you say you're not surprised? Tracy Moseley's 33 seconds back. I think that is a surprise right now, Cy.
Yeah,
you are one of the biggest Brit fans out there. How can you say that's not a surprise? 33 seconds. This is a girl who has dominated the last 3 rounds of the Enduro World Series.
It'd be interesting to know what's going on. You know, has she crashed out there? Has she lost some time somewhere out on course?
With some good strong showing by Canadian, and then we've got our men. They will be coming up,
well,
and as we can see, the young kid Martin Mays, 2 stage wins through stage 1 and stage 3. Jesse getting that second one, but Jared Graves. 2.45 back. You know, I know at the bottom, he said things were okay. He's kind of getting back into it. His teammate Richie Root not having a great day, but Rene Wildhauer sitting back there in 9th. Still within striking distance. I mean, 8.31 seconds is not much, but Nico Lau, technical rider, still lots of play here today.
We see Mitsuropolato down in the 23rd spot, stage 3. Those are the results from stage 3 out there in 5 stages.
But Jamie Nicol, that's a bit of a surprise. I mean, he had a breakout ride last year and just not up as high as he went there. Jesse Melamed, 3 crashes up on the 27 switchbacks. Again, flat corners, just not doing it there. We see on the hill or on the screen right now, we got Nate Hill on the screen right now, coming down, Colorado local, putting in a charge here down through the lower part of Monkey Hands. And I couldn't imagine how beat these guys are. I've been running around the stages just doing all these things all day, and I haven't even had to pedal uphill, and I'm beat. And these guys, I cannot even I can't even fathom how they are feeling right now. A cold Bud Light later on is gonna taste amazing.
Tell you what, there we go, 57 plate number, here we go. Pedaling across, getting across that.
Yeah, that's Nate Hills there, the Yeti rider, looking very strong down the bottom part of that course.
As we're bringing all these riders across here towards the open men, open women categories. Get a shot of our next rider coming in here.
That's rider on the 56 plate. That is Jeremy Horgan-Kableski, their Trek Factory Enduro rider from Cedar Ridge, USA. He's coming across the line. What's he got? 5:59, just under 56 minutes. He goes in 10th place in this, the open men's category.
All right, well, you know what? Tristan Merrick had a chance yesterday to catch up with Annika Burchin after practice. And here's one went down in that interview. Take a look at this.
All right, guys, down here in the pits, final practice done for the day, which means finals is tomorrow. Annika, what kind of things do you drop when you drop off your bike? What kind of questions do you and feedback do you give to your mechanic at the end of practice, knowing that finals is tomorrow, the big day where it all counts?
Yeah, we'll go through how practice went real quick, and then we see what we're going to change. So, like, definitely fresh tires on the bike, what gearing I'm going to run up front, if my suspension was good, if we need to change any pressure of that, and yeah, just stuff like that.
Perfect. Well, let's ask the mechanic what kind of things go on here as he's working on Mitch Ropolato's bike. Patty, you know, she gives the feedback. What kind of stuff do you do, though, that she may not know that you get up to in the evening to make sure the rig is ready for battle the next day?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff different. Just constantly have to be checking, especially in a place like Whistler. It's so rough, everything's so steep, but we keep everything dialed as much as we can, and there's always little nicks on the tires. And for tomorrow, it's going to be a hell of a lot different because we're not going to see them all day. We're only going to see them before the last stage. So we have to prepare for everything. We've screwdrivers set up with tire plugs, so the last resort is to use a tube. So that gets them, if they have one issue on one stage, then they're good for the next stage. They still have the tube as a backup, and small things like that, just to try put them ahead of the game.
So mechanics are pretty meticulous. Is there any little one-off things that you do that you don't think other mechanics do?
I'm pretty meticulous anyway, so I check every little fine. So everyone gets onto us about the bike being so clean, but the bike's so clean because you don't see a crack if the bike's dirty. And that's the big thing I always watch for, is cracks. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, folks, a clean bike is a fast bike. That's what goes on behind the scenes the night before the big race. Enjoy it.
One of the busiest dudes, Tristan Merrick, doing double duty out there, interviewing people, growing up on all the stages, man. You holding it together, buddy.
I'm holding it together. I couldn't think of a better day here. I mean, it's sunny. I feel for the athletes, but what an amazing and what an amazing experience. I know I told a bunch of friends every time I see them, like, it is a race, but just make sure you're having fun at the end of the day. I mean, it's more of an adventure. That's what that's what enduro is, I guess you can call it. It's just a bunch of people out on a big group ride, charging on the way down.
And you've raced it before. I know you were training to try and get back out there, but you had a mishap. What happened to you?
Well, I decided to taste some soil. Decided to do a little cartwheel action on the way down and fracture my wrist. So, bad things happen, but it fazed me for an afternoon. I was like, whatever. I'm not going to quit my day job. I'm going to keep talking up here with you guys. And I'm just excited to see everybody and everybody make it down the course safely today.
Yeah,
it's a beast of a day. I mean, 5 stages. I know when Darren and Seb unveiled it there on the Google Hangout, I was like, oh man, I got to be ready for battle. I got to be ready for a full day here. So,
yeah.
I mean, the first 3 stages, not easy ones, but I mean, yeah, they're probably up top. I'd be sweating bullets. If I have any sweat left, I'd be probably pretty dehydrated at this point.
I mean, you say that those upper stages aren't that easy. I think all 5 stages are pretty gnarly all the way down. But let's take a look at stage 4. Take a look at our map here, break it down stage 4. Si, maybe you can talk us through this here and break down stage number 4, man.
Yeah, stage 4 there. Cheap Thrills right into Beavers Pass there. Elevation loss of 320 meters. Total distance, 4.6 kilometers.
So stage 4 really kind of lower ride, don't slide into that zone there, into lower BC Trail, into Boyd's Trail. So good descent down into that creek side zone. I know I was out there earlier on. There's some long faces at that finish line. People feeling the effects. Very technical trail. Again, Boyd's one of those old school trails that have been brought back to life here. Not a regular one by the Whistler locals that get ridden. So a fun one. If you're feeling up to it at the end of the ride, don't slide. That's what you usually do.
Yeah.
But thanks to Gravity Logic, they put a ton of work into it and brought it back into Enduro World Series caliber.
All right, well, Tristan, you were up there stage 4. Let's check in with your report earlier from stage 4. Tristan Merrick, the captain.
All right, guys, we're down at the bottom of stage 4. We got some fresh trail, as we've seen all day long, and we can see here, things have gotten really rutted up with all of our riders. The problem is, with ruts comes rocks and roots sticking out, and that kind of thing can end your day. It can tear your derailleur off, bend your rotor if you're not being careful. So you got to make sure you get locked into that rut, rail it out in its complete form, try and pick up speed going into the next section. So the fresh trail, fun to ride, but hard to race. Back up to you guys.
That's a good point. It's fun to ride, but hard to race. You can just, we'll get to that in a second. Let's take a look at onboard action with Curtis Keene. Here's a look
as you
at
can
him.
see up here at the top, it's a new section cut into Ride Don't Slide. So again, some more fresh trail. Anybody who's been here for Crankworx know that Ride Don't Slide is pretty much the most hit trail on the World Cup circuit. It's really rooty, very technical. Again, we're still in this fresh section there. Curtis stalling up a little bit. New bridge as we work our way down, but all old growth forest crossing the creek. It is low angle though. When you ride the Ride Don't Slide from the top, you think it's steep the entire way, but right into the bottom, it's a little bit lower angle, not so much, but again, very technical here. Big roots, lots of G-outs. Those roots, so you come over them blind. If you put your front tire in the wrong place, you're gonna go head over heels, not in the right way. So Curtis here, keeping his speed up, kind of jumping across there beside that big log, looking smooth, making light order of it.
So we can see the side of the course there, Tristan. It's all marked out, some of the sides taped, some of the corners, some of the straight lines here. Is there any sort of room for any creativity and extra lines on it? Are there any shortcuts out there?
Well, there is multiple lines on Ride Don't Slide. It is an older trail. You know, you want to stay within the markings. The fastest line is normally the regular line, but you can see just that past little section. There's a low line, there's a high line, you can get inside. So, I mean, it's just a matter of, do you brake hard early to get that counter steer in to, you know, shorten up that corner to set you up better for that next section? Again, we're still in ride, don't slide, still in the upper section. It's just a long, long trail here.
Yeah, coming down here, you know, I'm finding it really hard to focus, you know, on the trail ahead of me. Suddenly it's darker in the shadows, then it's light and bright. You know, goggles, are these guys riding goggles? They're wearing glasses? Are they clear lenses, dark lenses? How are they running these?
I mean, North American standard is usually goggles. I think a lot of the Euros like to wear glasses. You can see right there, though, Curtis going around that left line, slightly a little bit longer, but actually quicker in the sense the right line's got a big rock face, a couple massive G-outs. So you're almost down at the bottom of the trail here. Again, still some low angle. You got some lines, you go left, you go right. There's a couple little sweat spots there with the moisture coming out. Again, just huge roots. You got to make sure. And I mean, the light, not an easy one on a day like today, especially later on in the afternoon. It's southwest or south exposure there, so you're just getting everything through the eyes there. And then again, you're sweating away. So I think sunglasses, good thing. You can dry off. The goggles, a good way to keep dust out. A good little heckling crowd right there. Coming down into another one of the rock faces. Huge G-out to the right, down in the left. You're almost down where you're going to cross the road here. It's a bit of a creek bed as you go down here. And there's some big rocks, I think, probably floating down there. A couple derailleur catchers, a couple pedal catchers. That'd be the biggest thing. A drop off there as you slow right down. You see it getting brighter here.
You know, you just said like a creek bed. Is there any water? Is there actually any streams, anything wet, muddy that these guys are riding into at all?
A couple little spots, but not too bad, actually. So, but as we come here, right down into Boyd's here. But very tough trail, very technical, new section.
All right, well, let's take a look at the final results. Stage 4, we've seen all the other stages so far. Let's break down on how things are going here for the final results for stage number 4. Take a look.
So ACC, another one, putting 10 seconds into Cecile. Cecile, though, has been charging hard all day. I think she senses this is her time, this is the place. Why not do it in Whistler? Try and get within striking distance. Tracy Moseley, though, playing that long game, another 41 seconds. And I know her partner in crime, James, was out there earlier on. Kind of a little bit worried about her. A Canadian, though, back Katrina Strand in 11th place. You see, though, those top girls, they're just slicing and dicing into the rest of the field. It's not even fair at the end of the day.
Yeah, you can see it all the way down there. And we'll take a look at the guys, too. Stage number 4 for the guys. Who's dominating that so far?
And let's just get into it. Curtis Keene, third. He has been steady all day long. 4.76 back, not bad. Martin Mays, though, he's still within that striking distance. That's why he is in the lead at that point. Dan Atherton coming back from injury in that 12th spot, only 16 seconds. So tight times for a very long stage, which is it's nice to see.
You know, and there we're looking at Jared Graves there, 17th place, 20 seconds off the top spot. The Mega Avalanche master, Rennie Wilbur there, 20 seconds down. He's in 18, Richie Rood in 19.
All right, we've got more racing action coming your way here. Don't go away. More when we come right back after this.
The goal when we started to make the new demo was just to make the fastest downhill bike that we've ever come up with. So we wanted to lower the center of gravity, make it lighter, pedal better. Everything we could think of, we threw at this new bike.
It doesn't look like any other bike that's ever been made. It's got some unique things. Like, that is the trippiest bike I've ever seen. It's gonna definitely open a lot of people's eyes.
If the country is wild, get a 4x4. If the country is big, get a 9-speed transmission and 44 miles per gallon. If the country is rugged, get comfortable with full-grain Napa leather and technology to keep you on the right path. And if the country is Canada, get a Jeep Cherokee. Ajax 2014 Canadian Utility Vehicle of the Year.
The weekend's here and we're ready to roll. We kick it off and snag these new Bud Light Quickies. These slim cans get cold fast, then we head straight to the beach. When we're ready, they're nice and frosty. Watch the sunset by the fire and we break out the tunes. As the night cools down, things really heat up. Next day, we head to Dave's cottage, pop some quickies in the cooler, they get icy in no time. The games begin and TJ busts out a jig. Someone shimmies, someone shakes. We dance like nobody's watching, but everybody is. Summer's here and these little quickies get cold fast. Perfect for Bud Light living.
And back to the action out here. Thanks for joining us out here. A great day racing, day number 3 here. And part of the Enduro World Series. And of course, we got the ladies on course, the pros on course for the pro women. Be crossing the line here. When it's all said and done, we'll have our top 3 for the girls, top 3 for the guys, Si.
Yeah, we've got the top 15 women currently, you know, on course at the moment. We have Heve Emerger there. That's ranked 17th in the series. She was 13th last year. 35-year-old Trek Factory racing rider. She was about 8 minutes, 30 seconds off the winning spot last year, so hopefully she's going to improve on that.
All right, Tristan, you got some stuff you were going through. How are we looking at some of these riders for the ladies here?
Well, let's just break down the first 4 stages of the day. Cecile taking the win on stage number 1, but ACC, it's been her race. She's been undefeated in the last 3 stages. So what does that mean for the rest of the girls? They're really gonna have to pull something out on stage number 5. As we keep using Jared as a good comparison, he did it last year. He was down by 30 seconds, pulled it out. Does that mean Cecile, if she's been charging hard? I mean, seeing her all day long, there's just something about it today. There's just something about watching her ride by. She knows today is the day that I think she's gonna try and put in that effort. So checkers or wreckers, I'm hoping for checkers for that girl. She deserves it. She's been trying hard all year long, but ACC, she's making it look easy. I'm looking at the stage wins right now, and it's just 1, 1, 1. Super easy. But we got our ladies up on the screen right now. Lorraine sitting in first, 41 seconds ahead. Seems like a huge margin, but we've got our final stage 5. That'll make the difference. Canadian local girl Katrina Strand in 4th. And up on the screen right now, we've got our first lady coming into view. She's coming down here, dropping into monkey hands up over that edge into that big old G out. There's some rough rocks. Right there could spell the end of the day. There is some sharp ones, so you can get a flat tire super easy, unfortunately.
So there we have Valentina Merceda there, the 27-year-old Ibis rider, riding that brand new prototype 650B. Aaron Caroline Chausson will be on exactly the same bike. You wouldn't tell us too much about it. She looks like she's probably overtook 3 or 4 riders, so she's riding out of sync as she's coming down the course now and into the finish line.
Yeah, and the first lady set off at 6:06, so it's been a while right now. They're probably feeling all the exhaustion just trying to get over the GLC drop right there.
Man, you can see that. Valentina Machida going to be checking in the time for the Italian rider, 7th place right there at 1:1:13, so 6:29 off that top pace for Valentina.
And that's the overall time you guys are seeing there. So 1 hour, 11 minutes combined racing time all day long. Not an easy one, but coming in right now, we got Anka Martin. One of our late regulars here, one of the favorites. She's coming down across the line, looking like she's having some issues. She's pumping, not pedaling across that line. Anka Martin crossing the line right there. She is a warrior. She is no stranger to these big adventures. She loves a good, long bike ride.
She'll check in
the Whistler Valley.
She'll get in that 8th spot right there with that time, 1 hour and 11:46 the time for the Kiwi in 8th spot, top 10.
Next rider dropping in looks to be Katie Winton.
Katie Winton, of course, from Great Britain. Her time right now, 13:52 and counting.
Yeah, Katie's actually from Peebles. That was the second stop of the EWS Tour. So she was on home soil, so she should have had a good advantage when she was racing that. So she's a little bit further away from home today and totally different course conditions to what Katie would be used to up in Scotland, where I'm pretty sure it rains probably every other day of the year.
Well, right now, combined total time to beat is at 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 44 seconds. Lorraine Trong, the Swiss rider with that time, and a 5th place finish right there for her.
Katie looking like she maybe had some issues there. Part of her visor broken up off to the side there, so having some struggles with that one. Now we got Rosaria Jeffries coming down right now. She is one of the Yeti riders from down Colorado. She had a big smile on her face after stage number 4. She's coming down here with a 1:04.16.
Yeah,
Taking
the number
29
1 spot.
seconds.
Rosaria Joseph right there. When we get to the big ones. So
yeah,
she takes over the top
Joseph
spot with that one right there. So Rosaria Joseph from New Zealand, a 1:04.15. That is the new time to beat. 1 hour, 4 minutes, 15 seconds, the time to beat.
Yeah, Rosario there, she's ranked 9th in the series. She finished 6th last year, so hopefully she can try and stay certainly inside that top 10. Kelly Emmett on the 10 plate there. She's dropping in down the GLC.
Kelly Emmett, here we go. Time checking in, going to be a 1:05, it looked like. 105 for her. That's going to be good enough for the third spot. 105.18 for Kelly Emmett from the USA. Top 3 so far. Carolyn Garrett coming across top 10 finish. 111.03, so 1 hour, 11 minutes and 3 seconds. Top 10 for Carolyn.
We see here the women coming down fast and furious. They're leaving with 1 minute gaps from way up top, way where we can't even see from way down here. And again, it is a battle for these girls to make their way all the way down. And the crazy thing, they've been racing for over 1 hour in total today for 5 stages. That is just, give them a high five if you see them in the crowd. Give some cheers. Give them some love when they come down across the line there, folks. It is a big day for all these ladies. They've been in battle.
Yeah, you know, you think about it, you get through, like I was saying earlier, you get through those 4 stages, you feel like, okay, 1 more stage to go, but that's one of the toughest stages, is stage number 5, Tristan.
Oh, 100%. It is very physical. I know the top of the world section is riding way rougher than it did last year. They've done maintenance. It's just dry conditions we've had here for a while. You can see our Jeep leaderboard up on the side of the screen there. So 104.15 is currently leading it right now. Our next rider coming down into view, putting in some pedal strokes. Just got to be feeling it.
Here we go. Let's make some noise, Whistler. Get behind all these riders out here. They've been at it for a long time. Anita Guerra going to get in a 6th spot. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 58 seconds into the top 6.
Yeah, and one of the very few women riders that to be running the 29er today, running the big wheels, riding on the 2 plates. Is that Cecile Ravanel, the GT rider? Right on the GT pulse, I think it is. She's on a hot one at the moment, Brad.
She is hungry for it. She's coming down through monkey hands there. We talked about it all day. She has the eye of the tiger. She's been putting in. She got that stage win earlier on today. She's coming down. Look at that time, folks. She is way under that 1 hour mark.
Keep it going, guys. I'll take the end. Go. Cecile Ravanel from France, 57. Counting it down right now. What can she do? Can she make the time up? Trying to get the top spot. Pedaling across the finish line. Going to check in with the time. And the number 1 spot right there for Cecile Ravanel. 58.04, so keeping it under the 1 hour mark. One more time for Cecile.
So passing Annika Burton on the way down, right? So Annika has had a tough day out there. You know, crashes have plagued her a bit coming across that line. The 1:03, but Cecile, under that 1 hour mark, the bar has been set by the ladies.
And Annika Burton doing her best right there. Into 2nd place for her. As we get our way down through it, your SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized. Day 3, Crankworx Whistler in the time to beat. Under 1 hour, 58 minutes, 4 seconds. Cecile Ravanel from France.
Question is, has she done enough? Is that enough, Brad?
And you know, for her, she ended up in 3rd in Chile. She got 3rd in Scotland. She got 3rd in Italy. So she is trying so hard to see if she can hold on to that top spot here today, guys.
You know what? We've still got some real big guns, some big hitters. We've got Anne-Caroline Chausson. We've got Tracy Moseley. You know, they're World Cup superstars, world champions in their own right, you know, in downhill. And we're looking at this course. This is a 25-minute downhill course. And someone's punctured there on the 4-plate. Ines Toma, there, the Canyon Factory Enduro rider. She's had a flat, and that might be one of the big stories of this weekend that could upset everyone later on.
Well, when you're talking about 5 stages, anything can happen. Definitely a mechanical at that situation with that flat tire for Ines Toma from Germany.
Yeah, remember last year we saw Cedric Gracia starting out, just about made it across the line with a flat tire. But you know, you got to give it everything on this stage 5. It's going to be 25 minutes of craziness.
Not to jump in here, Timo in view right now. Tracy Moseley, which she's down in monkey hands. Folks, I don't know what's going on here. We're supposed to see ACC first right now. Tracy Moseley coming into view clearly right now in that lower section of the course.
And here she comes right here. Moseley coming down the GLC, pedaling across the finish line, checking for the time right here for, what's that going to be? That's going to be in 2nd place right there for Tracy Moseley. 1 hour and, what is that, 1 hour, 11 seconds right there. So 2:07 off the top time, Cecile Ravanel. So Moseley into 2nd now.
Cecile putting 2 minutes plus into Tracy Moseley. So Cecile sitting comfy in that #1 position. We're still missing our rider who is winning 3 out of the 4 stages so far before this right now. We've got an MIA. We need to send out an SOS.
So we've just had word in, and Caroline Chausson, she is out with a mechanical at the moment. So provisionally, we're looking at some results there.
So yeah, getting word to ACC, possible mechanical up on course way back. So this could be the way it plays out with Cecile Ravanel taking the top spot, Tracy Moseley in second, Annika Bertine in third. It's unofficial at this point, but right now you got to think that that's going to be your top 3 out here today. We're hearing from some of the riders that ACC possibly had a flat tire up top.
That's never how you want to see a race go down. We keep talking about how rough the day is, and bike management has been such a crucial spot.
And there's a full screen. Check it out, your Jeep leaderboard, how we're breaking it down. Cecile Ravanel under 1 hour. Tracy Moseley in that second spot. Annika Bertine in the third. Rosario Joseph and Lorraine Trong rounding out 5. Let's set it down to Jackie Montgomery. Jackie?
I'm down here with Cecile. Cecile sitting in that top spot, still waiting for the final results. But how does it feel to finish this race currently #1?
Well, it was a long day, but I like this kind of track because all the stages were steep and technical. Not too much pedaling during the stage. I prefer pedaling during the liaison than the stage.
What was the most difficult part out of all 5 stages for you?
The most difficult is the last because you have a lot of pressure. I was close to Anne-Caroline Chausson. Unfortunately, she flat tire or something like that. And when you start, you are very, very nervous. And when you finish, it's a good day.
Last year, you finished in 3rd. This year, still waiting for the results. But right now, like I said, sitting in 1st, how does it feel to make that jump on top of the podium?
Whistler, this is a race who must win 1 time in your career. And now it's good for me.
All right, guys, we're going to send it back up to you. Congratulations.
Well, I'll tell you what, congratulations to Cecile Ravanel. 3 third-place finishes and finally getting her day out here today. It's unofficial at this point, but looks like she's going to come away with the win. We'll be back with the guys coming across the line when we come back right after this. And welcome back, the world, watching us here for your SRAM Canadian Open Enduro, presented by Specialized. The ladies finishing things up. And let's take a look at the Jeep leaderboard. Cecile Ravanel right there, 58.04, keeping it under the 1 hour mark right there, taking the big win. Tracy Moseley in that second spot, 2:07 off that time of Cecile. And then ACC, you can see we ended up in that third spot. ACC 5:06 off there. And ACC has been on the podium at all 6 stops so far. And Jackie Montgomery is standing by with ACC. Jackie, take it away.
And you swept stages 2 through 4. What happened in stage number 5?
I had a flat. I was riding really well. That's one of my favorite trails. So I used to win at Whistler, not this time, but I had a great time. I know I'm still fast on those trails, and I hope I will come back faster.
Kind of put into words the emotions that go through after such a long day, and to have something technical happen something mechanical rather happen in the final stage.
It's part of the game. We all know we have to manage our body all day long and the bike, the mechanic, and I got a flat. So it's racing. It's like that. I'm disappointed, but it will be other years, so it's okay.
Well, you are unofficially sitting in third right now, only 50 points separating you and Tracy Moseley in the overall EWS standing. So how important was it to finish in a podium spot in this race?
With a flat at the top of the world, I didn't know if I have to keep going because it was a long way. So I think it paid. And thanks Cecile to win this one. Otherwise, if Tracy had won this one, it would have been too difficult to win the overall at the end.
All right, well, still one more race in the EWS series to make up those points. Guys, I'll send it up to you.
Jackie Montgomery, thank you so much. ACC still in charge to try and win the overall with one more race. As Jackie did say, there'll be a stop number 7 will finish things up. But ACC, Tracy Moseley, they're battling it out for the 1 and 2 spot. But you know what? Let's take a look at the GoPro on board with Curtis Keene, stage 5. Let's take a look at this right here and see if we can get an insight of what stage 5 is all about.
Hey, I'm Curtis Keene.
Metro Pilata.
This is the course preview of the SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized at Crankworx Whistler. Here we go.
All right, folks, as you can see up top right now, they're in the peak zone, the alpine zone. Super rough, super high exposure. One little false move, you blow off the side of the mountain and you're gonna end your day. Those rocks are the size of cars. As we saw, though, with ACC, flat tires are very, very easy up top. You get a little offline, you get kicked out. Now we're down into the Garbo zone, one of the favorite zones down here. Super rough. Again, though, smooth tracking right through here. Curtis's RockShox suspension making it look way too easy. Coming down, a little line choice slowing down there. This was from the other day, just before it was taped. I know they went to the actually left line during the race today there. Again, coming down into the fit zone, this is where you guys are seeing it, down into lower monkey hands. Again, that corner just blown out from all 350 riders training for the last week or so. They're on that stage number 5. Everybody came up here after Winter Park. So they're coming up here, scrubbing over that GLC drop, and they're coming down into the bottom here.
And that's your GoPro course preview right there, your course view from Curtis Keene, the American Dream right there. Showing what it looks like to come down stage number 5, one of the toughest downhill stages. Now we take our attention back out to all the competitors now for the guys, the ladies in the books now. Now it's time for the dudes. See who can post the fastest time today.
Our final first men competitor here in the top 50 coming down into lower monkey hands. Again, the brakes just got to be feeling rough after that. Hands got to be tired. Getting a little fan support air, jumping over the GLC, putting down the pedal strokes here. So this is our first top 50 male rider coming down here. Skidding out, throwing a little side. That was Marcus Reiser, so he was in 15th right now. And we got Dirty Dylan Wolski right now. He is coming in. He's been hard charging. He's one of the Enduro World Series riders. One of the nomads, Santa Cruz nomads. Dylan Wolski pumping across the line there into the bottom. throwing down a skid with style. He'll be out with full flare later on this evening. Dylan Wolski in that 9th position right now.
Yeah, top 10 for Dylan Wolski right there. Your top leader right now, Benjamin Cruz in the top spot.
So we got Nick Geddes now coming into view. Local boy just shredding, slicing and dicing here. He's been on the Enduro World Series all year long. He's no stranger to this stage number 5. See our next competitor coming across the line there. Nick Geddes coming down in the lower part of the course. Whistler local here. He's a Whistler boy through and through.
Here comes Nick Geddes off the GLC, coming across the finish line. The time for Geddes, it could have been in the 9th spot right there. Nick Geddes with a 55.10 for him into 9th. Lars Sternberg crossing with a time for Lars. That's going to be a 56.58, Ty.
Yeah, rear puncture there. You know, that is going to be one of the stories of today that's going to really upset coming down these courses. And, you know, puncture in the last stage is really going to upset you. We saw that happen with Anne-Caroline Chausson, so we know it could happen to any of these riders down the bottom part of this course.
And now we look at Joseph Nation from New Zealand, the Kiwi, making his way down to Monkey Hands.
So again, coming down through that blown out corner there, braking bumps, having issues here. Coming down into the bottom here though. Just trying to keep it low, trying to keep the momentum going. Somebody get this guy cold water.
Yeah, right at 44, Joseph Nation there, the 24-year-old on the GT Force. The New Zealand rider, he goes 10th place time at 55 minutes, 32 seconds.
I think a lot of riders looking down at their bike thinking, what's up with it? It feels weird. Is it broken? Is it tire going flat? No, you're just that tired here from racing from top of the world all the way down.
Cecile Ravanel now, the 46 last year, 35-year-old riding on the GT. He's on course now, looking like he's going to bank a safe one. So Cedric Ravanel still styling out over the bottom of the GLC drive. He crosses the line.
Ravanel with a 54.10, top 5. Now to Jeremy Arnold. And Jeremy Arnold in the 12th with a 55.35 in the 12th spot.
So riders catching each other here. We got Florian Goulet coming down next. Under that 55-minute mark right now, 54.29.30 coming across there.
Goulet, 54.29 into 7th. Florian Goulet.
With these dusty conditions, though, it looks like riders, they're setting off at big intervals. We've got Mitch Ropalato right now. He's coming down into view, one of our specialized riders. We got 4th place at the last Enduro World Series round, his first round, getting 4th there. I know today's been a bit of a battle for him.
Yeah, riding that specialized 29 and riding those big fat rims. The Traverse Fat is 31 millimeters wide, those carbon rims. And that big 29er bike, watch him come down this GLC drop, styling it out. Here comes Mitch Ropalato jumping across the line. The American goes 5th place, 53.24.
So 53.24, 5th place. Marco Osborne from the USA on course now. See, it says Cruz with a 35 and Gali with a 35. I'm not sure. Those seem awfully fast compared to the rest of the times right there. Tristan, you think that could be a discrepancy, or is that the time, 35 for those guys?
I'm feeling that's a bit quick because this is 20 minutes, and I know stage 3 alone was 9 minutes for Martin Mays, so a little off there. But we got Josh Carlson coming into view right now. We showcased his bike earlier on, but Josh Carlson coming off some big injuries earlier this year, cruising down into view. I know he's probably frothing at the mouth, not because he's excited, but probably just because he's frothing from all the effort all day long.
Yeah, let's get that straight. I mean, these guys are frothing just to try and finish at this point in stage 5.
He's got all the speed, Josh Carlson. He's got to rebuild. He's had 2 big crashes the last 2 years. He's one of the most fit guys out there. He trains hard. We're just going to have to see what the clock says for him here today at Whistler.
Josh Carlson kind of almost whipping it out. Josh Carlson, the time, that's going to check in with a 52.10, 4th place, top 5 for Josh Carlson, the Aussie.
Yeah, great time for him. They're running that. We saw that suspension unit. He is pretty unique in running the coilover shock there. Most of the riders running the air shocks today.
We got Manchild, Richie Rude coming in right now. He had a flat tire on stage number 2, so not the day he'd hoped for.
Richie Rude with the time. That's going to check in with a 52.45, 6th place. Richie Rude, he was on a podium earlier in the season.
Getting second place at the last round of the Enduro World Series. Kid's got all the skills. He's just got to put it together in his first season. You see two riders coming down real tight there in that next section. Tire to tire, got to be hard with the dust. Again, rocks can be flipping up super easy here.
That's 36. That's Mark Scott.
Mark Scott having a flat tire on stage number 4. So again, he's just trying to salvage things here today, jumping off, throwing some style.
Yeah, Mark Scott, the wide open rider, and behind him, straight hot on his heels, and that's rider 35. Igo Gari there, 22-year-old Santa Cruz rider riding that Nomad.
So Mark Scott going to check down in there.
Lago, one of the privateers on the circuit, making his way around. I know he's been traveling with Dylan Walski all throughout the season, having good times there. Again, the dust, though, a big thing right now. No real breeze up on that course. So again, the dust probably just hanging in the air, just getting in your mouth, getting on your goggles, making it hard to see, making it hard to breathe there as you're coming down in that lower part of the course. Big route there.
That rider there, Thomas Lavier there, the 24-year-old Scott SR Suntour rider from Draguin and from France. He's on course. Yeah, here he comes down the GLC. Still got some legs on him crossing this line.
We've got an updated Jeep standings there. Josh Carlson's actually in first right now, folks.
Yeah.
Dan Atherton.
And you and I, we were right definitely on those times right there. So Josh Carlson, that's the time to beat the 52:10. And
So-
Dan Atherton in second. Richie Rude now in that third spot. There's your 1, 2, 3 right now.
Carlson making a bit of a comeback. I know he's just trying to build off this year, trying to get that speed back up where he's comfortable with it. He's got the speed. He's just a little unsure. He's got them newborn legs. Pretty easy to blow a shoe if he's not careful. Again, that's our Jeep leaderboard just up there.
Aaron Bradford on course riding that BMC Trail Fox, a 29-year-old rider. Last year finished 88th place, so...
He was
looking
asking,
like-
can he have a beer at the end of stage 4?
Here is him crossing with the time, Aaron Bradford.
Again, Aaron Bradford coming down there. And we're getting back into view. One of the Da Vinci riders on that new Enduro bike. Cruising down to the lower part of the course right now here.
Yeah, right in the...
Soaking up the suspension.
Yeah, right in the Da Vinci Spartan there. He comes down Theo Galley on the 28 plate. DSQ. Now, what does that mean? Disqualified.
Probably means he maybe had an issue earlier on the day, maybe not finishing a stage in full succession. You can do that. You can continue on with your day. You just disqualified. So that's the beauty of this sport. You can still participate all the way through all 5 stages.
Now, why would you continue on? Wouldn't you want to just stop it at that point and just say, you know what, I got disqualified. I'll put all my eggs in basket for the next race.
Well, why throw in the white towel when you don't have to, right? Yes, your time doesn't stand, but you still have gone through the battle. You've still gone on that adventure through all 5 stages.
Yeah. And at least you're going to get a time no matter what, so you can still kind of compare yourself to what the other riders are doing, right?
Yeah. If and buts, you know.
If and buts, for
Again,
sure.
we're kind of working our way down through the field right now. The top guys still, they're probably setting off on course right now. We're seeing a bunch of guys just cruising down, though. Is that because they're conserving energy, or is that because they've had issues?
Right, this man on course on the 18 plate, Alex Lupata, the 24-year-old FRM factory rider riding that Lapierre spicy team. He finished 35th place last year. Currently ranked 39th in the series so far. Making the big trip all the way from Italy. That's where the final round is going to be in the first weekend of October, finale.
Be the 7th stop right there you're talking about in Italy. Alex Lupato right there, the Italian, coming across the time, going to be a 55-54. And let's send it downstairs to Jackie Montgomery, standing by. Jackie?
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Josh Carlson, who's currently sitting in the hot seat. Josh, how are you feeling just to be done with this race and currently sitting on top?
Mate, just to be finished that race and be done is, that's an achievement in itself. That was a big day, man. 7 hours of ride time, 8.5 hours of saddle, like just being out in the woods, and to finish with a stage like that, there's no event in the world that can match this. This is the toughest enduro I've ever done, and I'm pretty sure it's the general consensus of the crew that it's pretty bloody hard.
Yeah, people were calling it Crankzilla. Did it live up to the name?
Yeah, true story. Man, every stage was like gnarly and hard, man, because like we had big climbs to get there, and yeah, they were technically hard, and you were just rooted. It was it was pretty wild. I said to Seb, I said, I'm pretty sure this is the only legal way to try and kill someone.
Cruel and unusual punishment. All right, thanks for the time, Josh. Guys, let's send it back up to you.
That was probably the best thing I've heard all day right there. A legal way to kill someone.
Right, rider on course number 27 plates, Cuscus, Fabian Cusini, the Polygon. You are rider. Straight out of Castro's in front. There he comes through 10th place. 54-18.
Fabian Cusini there in the 10th spot, like you said, Cy, 54 and some change right now. Josh Carlson holding that top spot, 52-10. Dan Atherton from Great Britain, 52-2-3 in second. Richie Root in the 3rd spot with Marco Osborne in 4th. Following up your top 5, Ropadope, Mitch Ropalato holding down the 5th spot. 53-24 his time.
So Carlson at the moment's got quite a commanding lead, 12.8 seconds up on Dan Atherton. Richie Root there's back in 34 seconds back. So there's quite a big split there on that top 3, as you can see on the scoreboard now.
Yeah, the Jeep leaderboard breaking it down for you right there. Carlson, Atherton, Root, Osborne, and Ropalato. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 so far. Welcome everyone if you're just joining us out here. SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized. Here's 14.
Ludovic May there. He's on course at the moment, racing down. Canyon Factory Enduro rider, riding that Strive CF. Looking on the inside of his number board in French. If my translation was correct, it says, "You can do it."
I don't know if that was the translation, but maybe you're right, Si. I don't know, sometimes you're pulling my leg or what. Here is Ludovic May, Swiss rider. And 54 and counting down the GLC. So that's going to put him in an 8 spot, so top 10 right there. 8 spot, 54.07. 1:56 off the top time of Josh Carlson, 52.10. Australia #1 right now.
Brad, I'd like to just add, so Jared Graves has left the start gate 4 minutes ago. Our final rider has left 4 minutes ago in his mission.
In the
domination
quest.
of stage 5.
Craig Callaghan from Ireland now.
Yeah, Callaghan there riding that brand new 650B nuke proof. The Irish rider, Ireland's top Euro rider here on course at the moment. Super nice guy. Raced some of the British Downhill Series, the Nationals back in the UK before he moved over to the Enduro race scene, to the dark side.
To the dark side.
I don't know if it's the dark side. I love how the young DH kids make fun of it, and then you see what's going on out here on a day like today, and there's nothing easy about this.
Oh, look at the Irish rider, 52.40. Craig Callaghan's coming across. What's going to be the time? Look at this one. 3rd place, 52.42. The clock don't lie. Greg Callaghan with that time, top 3.
Yeah, riding that Mega AM. That bike's due out in December this year to the public.
So still Josh Carlson in the top spot. Greg Callaghan now bumping Richie Root to 4th.
It's looking like Jamie Nichols right now coming down. He had a breakout ride here last year. Let's see what he's got.
Aurelien Giodengo there, 26-year-old Polygon UR rider from France.
So still time to beat, 52.10. That has not changed. Dan Atherton in 2nd. Arlene now into 2nd place with a 52.18.
You know, Brad, I've just had a quick text message off Fabian Burrell. There's going to be a quick update from him.
No. This is not what we want to see here, folks. Jesse Melamed pushing his bike down in that upper section right now. This is not looking like he's gotten some issues here. Flat rear tire, looking
flat rear.
gutted at the moment.
Oh no, his date is over. He is done there, Jesse Melamed there.
Here's Brian Regner now from France.
Jesse with that storybook ride last year into 6th place. Getting a stage win here earlier on today. Getting a stage win on the super technical stage too on Crazy Train.
This is Brian now 53 and some change, counting it down.
Yeah, Brian Renner there riding that Very nice YT Capra bike. YT Industries TLD SRAM rider from Le Penis Maribel in France there.
And down that GLC drop. And the time's going to check in. Going to be a 9th place finish right there. 5.345 for Brian.
The top 10 place so far, so hopefully he can stand to that. And we're on straight onto the number 9 plate already. Adam Craig, 5th place last year. What time have we got for him as he crosses the line? Adam Craig.
Folks, Curtis Keene just came down across the line, crushing it, looking like here.
Look at this. Yeah, Curtis Keene with a 51.27, taking the top spot. Wow, that's the fastest time so far for the guys. Curtis Keene, the American dream. All right, let's check in with Jackie Montgomery with more. Let's set it downstairs. Jackie?
Curtis Keene currently sitting in the hot seat. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, it was a good rest day, you know.
Easy, right?
Today was very challenging for everyone, so kudos to all the amateurs that finished this race. Amazing. You guys have day jobs and you did the same stuff as us, so good job on you guys. And thank you for Crankworx putting on an amazing event, because that was fun.
People have been saying this is arguably the toughest course on the EWS Tour. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I probably have to agree, mainly because of the heat. I'm from California. I like the heat, so it didn't really bother me too much, but it's very hard, yes.
What sort of factors does the heat do to you guys? How does it take a toll on your body in this race?
You start cramping and just lose energy throughout the day, so you gotta keep up with your water intake, electrolytes, food, beer, whatever it takes.
Well, I'm sure you'll be enjoying a few beers now that you're done with the race. Curtis Keene currently sitting in the hot seat. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Jackie, thank you so much. Curtis Keene, the time to beat, 51.27. Arlene Giordanago from France in that 2nd spot, 52.18. Dan Atherton in 3rd.
Remy Absalon coming in there. This guy is super fit. He can only make 9th at the moment with that time of 53.29 for the Scott SR Suntour rider. Last year he was 2 minutes, 10 seconds off the top spot, finishing 8th last year, currently ranked 13th in the series.
We got Florian Nicolai coming into view right now, one of the Rocky Mountain Urge riders, teammates with Jesse. He's been having a great season so far, getting closer and closer, getting that win. Still another one of these young kids, still in school, still learning stuff, not a full-time athlete. And, you know, he is a beast, railing down through those final corners. But I think, let's just touch on Curtis there for a second. He was in 3rd here before that final stage, so making a big jump there. Florian Nicolai, let's see what he has to say with that, though.
And that's one of those things. You're not out till you're out, and you just got to keep your stick on the ice, keep it focused all the way down. Alexandre Cure from France. This looks like this could be a decent time for Alexandre. Here we go. Time checking in. What's that going to check in with? A 52.56, top 6. Alexandre right there, Cure from France.
Yeah, great right there for Alexander Cure. But I tell you what, we're going to be looking up the hill shortly. We are hoping to be seeing Martin Mays there. Top junior rider from last year. Here he is on the 22 plate. Martin Mays has got a mechanical. His chain is off. He is pumping down. First junior last year. He's only 17. He's already won one of the stages earlier on this morning. I think that was stage 1, but his day is done with that mechanical, I'm afraid. That is going to cost him dearly.
2 stage wins with actually Cy. Who knows, though? This is Martin Mays. If it came down on the lower section of the course, you can keep your momentum up. A lot of riders may not be pedaling at this stage there just due to how physical today has been in general. He may just be like, you know what, this could be a godsend. I'm just going to cruise down right now, keeping his speed up here. The clock, though, 51:55 showing right now, so still a decent time.
Martin Mays from Belgium, the Belgian rider without a chain. I guess you would say off the chain, 52.01, 2nd place right there. Nicely done with a mechanical into 2nd place. Curtis Keene, time to beat, 51.27.
And Johan coming across the line into 2nd place, winning stage number 4, coming down only 27 seconds back from Curtis Keene.
Yeah, Borelli, the French rider, into 2nd, 51.54. Still Curtis Keene, the leader, 51.27. If that can hold up, Curtis Keene would take the win.
So Johan hanging out up top there right now. He got a stage win earlier on today. He's got it feeling pretty good in stage number 5. Check him out on Instagram. He's got some good antics, good videos that he pumps out on a regular basis there. Again, teammates with Josh Carlson.
So Keene number 1, Borelli number 2, Mace number 3, 1, 2, 3 right now.
We are looking up the hill for Whistler's favorite rider, Cedric Gracia, Mr. Showboat himself. Last year had some bad luck. He snapped his cable at the top. He was stuck in 10th gear all the way down this course. Then he spectacularly blew his tire out as he entered the bottom section of this course and slopped across the line. Here is the 36-year-old. Put your hands together, please. Cedric Gracia.
Here comes Gracia. Cedric Gracia trying to beat a time of 51.27. And not to be for him, 53.27 and counting for the French rider, Cedric Gracia.
I'll make you a bet right now, Brad. He wins the party later on tonight.
Yeah, Gracia there running the DVO rear shot with the coil, with the spring on there, not tempted to run the air shot this weekend. But still a man of style. Put your hands together, please. Cedric Gracia, the French rider. Here he comes.
Manually across the finish line. So 53.53, 14th for Cedric Gracia. Hand him a cold one. There's your Jeep leaderboard just for a moment there.
'21 coming in strong. Francois Belimiter, the 28-year-old BMC rider. It's going to be one of those 29ers, I believe.
Yeah, Francois into second with a 51.48 for Francois. So Curtis Keene dodging another bullet, still holding on to that top spot. Francois, FBM holding down number 2 with a 51.48. Curtis Keene, your leader, the 51.27.
He must be feeling confident. 21 seconds up at the moment for Curtis Keene.
8 riders to go to upset the balance here for your SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized. Here's number 10, Joe Barnes from Great Britain.
Yeah, actually from Fort William. He moved there when he was 5 years old. He was originally born in Carlisle. I always thought he was Scottish. I don't know if we want to call him English or not.
He's had a podium earlier this year, got 3rd place. Joe Barnes did it in Italy earlier this year on stop number 4.
Yeah, his sister Hannah Barnes races for Yeti. So Joe Barnes on course. A little pocket rocket that he is. Canyon rider as he drops through now. We're looking to see him attack this GLC drop.
Here
and still
he
put
is.
some power down.
Joe Barnes getting those pedal strokes in. Joe Barnes across the finish line. 4th place, 51.56.95. Curtis Keene can do nothing but look on right now. Florian Nicolai now from France, plate number 13 on course.
Yeah, the 21-year-old Rocky Mountain Urge BP rider, that Rocky Mountain altitude. He's from Levans in front. Curtis Keene is looking up. Has he got his fingers crossed? Can he hold on to that 21-second lead at the moment? Curtis Keene currently in the lead from the USA, riding that brand new Specialized Enduro Carbon 650B machine.
Florian sitting in 5th place before this stage, so still within striking distance. The clock doesn't lie, though. At the end of the day, we're going to have to see what happens.
Florian down on the GLC. Here he comes. What's the time going to be for Florian here? And Florian into 2nd place, 51.39. So Florian now into 2nd. Curtis Keene dodging yet another one. Curtis Keene still holding on to that top spot with a 51.27 right now. With about 6 to 7 riders left.
And that's Nico Lau popping into screen right now, folks. The cube rider popping in.
Yeah, this is 5 riders left. Curtis Keene's got 5 bullets to dodge. Can he do it?
Oh, here we go. Nico Lau, look at the time right now, 51.14. And that's going to take over the top spot. Nico Lau from France, the French rider, 51.13. The clock don't lie.
We talked to Nico Lau this morning. He said these technical tracks were definitely going to favor his riding. Coming through, just pumping the arms.
Yeah, Nico Lau definitely going to beat last year's result of a 5th place.
Rene Wildhaber coming in, using that sign as a ski gate. He's a ski guide in the wintertime. He's no stranger to leaning into one of those things. So Rene coming down here. He is the mountain man. This guy is an animal himself.
Yeah, the 38-year-old, he's got some experience, he's got some legs on him. The Trek factory rider, Red Bull Decline SRAM from Flensburg there in Switzerland. We've seen him dominate the Mega Avalanche in the past. René Wilbur. He's coming through now. He's not going to challenge for the top spot there. His time's going to be 52.07, 8th place there for René Wilbur. Nico Lau, confident in that top spot there by 13 seconds in front of Curtis Keene. Florian Nicolai, he gets bumped to 3rd place.
3 more to go, though, and Justin Leoff popping in now. He's been sick all day, battling a virus. I know he's in the clinic last night getting blood tests done. Been a trooper all day long in this 30-degree weather.
So Justin Leoff trying to beat Nico Lau, 51.13. That's what Nico had, the fastest time so far. Curtis Keene in second with a 51.27. In third, you got Florian Nicolai at that 51.39. That's your 1, 2, 3.
As you can see, though, the sun is setting, so shadows starting to disappear, light getting a little darker in the woods there.
And down off the GLC, the time 51.42 and counting. Here we go for the Kiwi, Justin Leoff, 4th place, 51.43.
Holding on tight there. Look at Nico Lau. Breathes a breath of relief there for him. But we have 2 riders to go. Damien Houghton, the Da Vinci rider. Then it's Jared Graves, the Yeti rider. 2 to go. Well, we are in the business end of this, the Canadian SRAM Open Enduro.
One thing guaranteed, Nico Lau's going to be guaranteed a podium position with just 2 more riders to go. Keene in the 2nd spot, Nicolai in the 3rd. But Nico Lau, the top spot right now, the top time of the day, 51.13.
Damien, though, sitting in 2nd place, so coming into this final stage, so a slight time advantage on Nico Lau there. He's going to have the advantage coming down on this final stage, but Nico Lau looking pretty happy, looking pretty good with his effort today.
I mean, because no matter what, if you're Nico, you know you're going to be on the podium, but here we go. This
Damien
is 16.
coming into view.
Damien Houghton from France now. He's had some podiums as well. The French rider.
Damien Houghton there, 26-year-old Andy Ward. He's his mechanic. He's riding that Da Vinci Spartan 650B.
Nico Lau, though, winning earlier this year in Tweed Love. So one of the poll questions we had earlier today, will we have a repeat winner? Nico Lau sitting in that seat right now. Damien outside of that time, which means there is 1 more guy on that hill. Jared Graves, who's had a bit of a heartbreak this morning, suspension failure, brake failure. He's the only one that can make a difference at this point.
Here is Damien Houghton from France, French rider, crossing with a time. And that's going to be 3rd place, 51.39. And Jared Graves with the top time, 51.11. Jared Graves at the end of the day taking the big win out here. The Aussie with a 51.11. Nico Lau in 2nd and Curtis Keene in 3rd. What an unbelievable turnabout out here. Tristan Merrick, talk to me about that one, man.
I was out there on every stage, every day here, and stage 1, he was gutted, fork blowing. Stage 2 coming down, having issues down there, no rear brake. Coming down stage 3, though, getting that 2nd place, and he was just, I know, you know what? It's an all-day battle, and he just made it work. He did not give up.
Well, he's your champ. Put your hands together, everyone here in Whistler, for Jared Graves, a 51.11.44, undoubtedly the fastest time of the day. Let's check in with Jackie Montgomery, standing by. Jackie.
All right, I'm down here with Jared Graves. He's getting the champion shot right now. Jared Graves, repeat champion here in the Canadian Open Enduro. How are you feeling right now?
Tired, but really good. That was a carbon copy of last year, maybe even better, so I couldn't be happier.
You had difficulties, mechanical difficulties in both stage 1 and stage 2. How were you able to pull it out to get the victory yet again?
I think that last stage just suits my strengths perfectly, and I don't know, lost for words right now.
I'm sure the course took its toll on you. How difficult was it out there? Put it into perspective for us.
Oh, it's just so brutal. Every first 4 stages, well, I was saying earlier that normally places have like gnarly sections, but the whole track of every stage was a gnarly section, so true test.
Miracle ride for Jared Graves, getting the win there in the end. Your SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized, champion once again for 2014.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable right there. That's his third win on the Enduro World Series and back-to-back wins at Crankworx Whistler. Jared Graves got the win last year, and he's gone back-to-back, and he's done it again out here today on a great day in Whistler. Let's take a look at your official leaderboard and see how it all stacked up today. There you go. Jared Graves, the #1 spot with that 51.11. 2.5 off that. Nico Lau in that second spot. And Curtis Keene in the third spot. There's your 1, 2, 3. Australia, France, and USA. Well, we got more. We'll have the final thoughts coming back at you. That's your Jeep Crankworx leaderboard, breaking it down for you. Congratulations to Jared Graves, getting it done last year and getting it done this year. Back-to-back wins. And we'll be right back, coming at you right after this.
Miss me? I miss all of y'all.
Hey! 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 I can see it the way you like. I can do it the way you want. My motorcycle. You got a license. You got no right to.
The goal when we started to make the new demo was just to make the fastest downhill bike that we've ever come up with. So we wanted to lower the center of gravity, make it lighter, pedal better. Everything we could think of, we threw at this new bike.
It doesn't look like any other bike that's ever been made. It's got some unique things. Like, that is the trippiest bike I've ever seen. It's gonna definitely open a lot of people's eyes.
If the country is wild, get a 4x4. If the country is big, get a 9-speed transmission and 44 miles per gallon. If the country is rugged, get comfortable with full-grain Napa leather and technology to keep you on the right path. And if the country is Canada, get a Jeep Cherokee. Ajax 2014 Canadian Utility Vehicle of the Year.
Well, what an amazing day here at SRAM Canadian Open Enduro presented by Specialized. That's how it played out for the ladies. Cecile Ravanel taking the big win. Tracy Moseley in the second spot, and ACC continuing her charge in third. There's your 1, 2, 3, 4 the ladies on your Jeep leaderboard. And for the guys here on your Jeep leaderboard, to break that one down for you, showing you the top 3 for the dudes out here today. An amazing day for sure. Here we go. Jared Graves taking the big win, 51.11. Nico Lau in that second spot. Curtis Keene in third. Cy Payton, final thoughts, sir.
I'm going to give you final thoughts on Jared Graves. You know, it's been a long day, 5 stages. This is like a game of chess. Jared Graves has proved he is the grandmaster. He's done 4 or 5 runs on that last stage. He knew what he was doing, changed his gear in up to a 38 tooth. He was the man. He knew what he was doing today, and he's proved it and took the win.
Well, what an amazing day. Make sure you join us on Tuesday, the Garbo DH. Webcast will start at 4:15 Pacific Standard Time. On behalf of Cy Payton, Tristan Merrick, the captain, I'm Brad J, and we'll see you on Tuesday.